This is Matchweek. You are joined by myself, Ardi Emini. We discuss everything soccer from the highs and the lows in the sporting week to the news that is relevant to you. Welcome back. You are listening top of the hour on WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Matchweek. Guys, today is a special day because not only are we on late, usually we're here 10 to 12, but instead we're here 12 to 2. But also, we have a guest who hasn't been on in nearly a year. It is Ali Kafel. Ali, say what's up. How you doing, Brody?
Hey, how's everyone doing? Happy to be here, Ardi. Thanks for having me.
We got Ali, and we also have Ardi, different Ardi, wannabe Ardi, but it is what it is. We have Ardi Mustafa. Ardi, say what's up.
Hey, what's going on? I'm the real Ardi.
Okay, no. There's no real Ardi, okay?
Nah, man, I appreciate you having me on.
Anytime. For the audience reference, just letting you know, growing up, there's also been a third Ardi we had to deal with. So, in case you're wondering, our friend group, we just call each other by last names. No one has the first name anymore. just for reference, just to get you some clarification. But anywho, no more stories. Into the big game news, guys. Weekend has been ridiculous for results. Now tell me, which one do you want to go over that has been, would you consider most impactful? Because I think there's 3 different results this weekend that really define how crazy the Premier League is going to be. Because we had Newcastle tying 3-3 with Man City. We had Chelsea getting demolished 3-0. And we had United making a bounce-back victory over Liverpool, winning 2-1. Which one would you like to cover first, boys?
I think we could start with the United game. Maybe I'm biased here because
okay. So Man City game we're gonna do first.
I knew that was gonna
happen.
Dude.
So Man City, it was an absolutely insane result for Newcastle. Newcastle was up. What was it? 3-1.
3-1. Yeah.
And Man City came back. I mean, dude. I look at Haaland when he plays, and like the fact that when he misses, he just smiles and laughs because he knows he's gonna make the next one is like, that's like some like psycho striker type thing going on right there.
Yeah, his mentality is great, and I think, he's not gonna score every game, but he's gonna finish. He's gonna have games where he scores a hat trick. He's gonna finish with a golden boot. I think. I mean, it's just inevitable in my opinion.
No, yeah, we talked about this on the show before. He's at minimum gonna have 17 Premier League goals. Minimum.
Absolutely, yeah.
We were discussing that. Now people were wondering if he's gonna be a 20+ goal striker a year, and at first we weren't sure because 28 in the Bundesliga, yes, is impressive, but it's still the Bundesliga. And seeing his form transfer over to Man City, being such a ball-dominant side, and granted, yeah, they almost choked the game on the weekend. Do you think that that's because they're adjusting to a new system, or is it because they're adjusting to a new type of team that they have? Because there's no more Sterling, Zinchenko's gone. I'm trying to think. They just brought in also Calvin Phillips. They brought in Sergio Gomez at left back. So what do we think about this team right now?
I think it's still going to take some time for Haaland to get really into it and get perfect chemistry with the team. I also think it's highly dependent on what happens with Bernardo Silva to see if he leaves to Barcelona. I think it's not a huge loss, but he just gives you so much going forward. And I think he's a vital part of the team, but they're going to be okay. I mean, I still have them as my league winners personally still, even though they had a draw against Newcastle. I don't think it's that telling of their team. But
I'm going to say this right now. If Barcelona signed Bernardo Silva, I hope they crash and burn, they go bankrupt, and that the club just fails. That's my only hope right now.
They're already heading down that path.
Yeah, but I want it to happen even faster if they somehow get Bernardo Silva, because it's ludicrous what they've been doing.
Yeah.
But I have to ask you guys one question. Do we think that Kyle Walker is slowly starting to age out now? Because that game on the weekend, St. Maximin, Willock, these guys were just burning him on pace.
The one thing I will say is, in regards to Kyle Walker, I think that we just got to start giving credit to these Premier League teams like Newcastle.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like Alan St. Maximin.
100%.
Walker, maybe you could say he might be dropping off, maybe not. I mean, for me, I still see he has that speed. He's got that strength. His IQ is definitely a lot better than it used to be under Pep. But yeah, I mean, he did kind of struggle against Alan St. Maximin, but St. Maximin is going to make any defender struggle one-on-one.
Yeah, but also Joe Willock, he's not known to be a fast player. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. Is that do we think that Kyle Walker needs to start focusing on a new role within that team? Because if you have someone like a Sergio Gomez ready to be deployed, you're going to have him and Cancelo as like wingbacks, and you have him start playing with him then as a third center back. I mean, it could be an option now because Kyle Walker's still a phenomenal player. It's not like he's like broken knees, like game over for him. I just don't think he has that pace anymore to do what he used to do.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, he's definitely not as fast as he was when he first came to City and when he was at Tottenham. But I still think he looks good. I mean, like Ali said, I think most right backs and most defenders are not going to look great against St. Max. He was on fire that day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's just so quick. His feet are so quick. His speed's quick. His vision's crazy. So I wouldn't put too much weight on that performance. I say let's give it a few games to see how he plays against other teams. Because St. Max he's a great player.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think now because this Man City team, we always talk about how fans complain about the money spent and stuff like that, but we see this as a team that always spends money well. Like, granted, don't get me wrong, like $100 million for Jack Grealish is stupid on its part. Like, it doesn't make sense, but still having someone as that versatile option off the bench, Calvin Phillips they got for $50 million as a bench player. Someone like Phil Foden's coming out of their academy now, just comes to show like what kind of talent they have at their disposal.
Yeah, I mean, Calvin Phillips starts for most teams in the Prem, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it starts for everybody bar City just because of Rodri. That's really what it is.
He's a great player. I mean, to have him on the bench, and I don't know how many games he's going to play this season. I still want to see him play like a full 90 to really see how he plays this year. But for City players, it usually finds what they're about in the second season. Like, that's why I say, like, Grealish, this is the most important season for him. We'll see how he plays.
Well, do you think that Grealish ever gets played right? Because we always talked about how at Aston Villa, he was always flexing between, like, a center attacking mid as a left wing. Where do we see him thriving more in the City team? Because now with Haaland at the forefront, do you want somebody, let's say like a Phil Foden, playing out wide more, or do you want to invest more in Jack Grealish in that spot and have Foden sort of be phased into more of a center attacking mid role for the one eventual day that Kevin De Bruyne is not playing for Man City anymore? Because Phil Foden is the one for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Grealish's best position is on the left, and like you said, even when he's on the left, he plays like that free roam kind of style of play. I'm sure Pep is drilling it down to them that now that they have Haaland, that the focus should be to get him the ball. You know, the whole point of him being the striker is like you got to give him the ball, give him chances to score. So I don't know if necessarily like Foden's gonna slot into that cam role. I think, like you said, if De Bruyne is not playing, I could definitely see Foden back in that cam role. But yeah, I think Grealish on the left is great. That's the thing about City. Like, we're talking about several players where we're like, okay, what's the best position for this guy, and could we put Foden in cam and all this, and it's like, it's just ridiculous how many players they have at their disposal. Like, Pep's job is so easy right now, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, because
it's so easy.
The City team is sort of adjusting, right? Because they're so used to having a spread out goals everywhere team, to now they have someone at the forefront, like an actual like center forward, like bagging goals.
Yeah.
And this is sort of the adjustment period we're seeing, because someone like a Haaland now is bringing so much attention to the position. He's pulling center backs out of position and everything, where now it's making space for even somebody of the likes of Ilkay Gundogan to just fill in that space, score a goal, or De Bruyne from distance just to bag one in. It's going to be a really interesting season for City, because it's either going to be a consistent 3-3 a 3-3 draw against teams like Newcastle, or it's going to slowly turn into an actual like ball dominant side, even more so than what we've seen before. Because we've seen it before with like a Sergio Aguero up top, where it was sort of like a smaller striker, like he would sort of hold the ball off, try to lay it off to everybody's going to score, to where now it's going to be somebody where they better be getting 20 plus goals.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're just like Ali said, they're so spoiled. I mean, their second 11 could get like top 7 in the Premier League.
Oh, easily.
It's crazy how stacked they are. I mean, yeah, I mean, they just have so many options at attack. They all can score up front. Grealish can score, Foden can score, Haaland can score, So can score. So I can see a scenario where Haaland scores 20 and De Bruyne still scores like 12, 13.
But we're also forgetting the name of Riyad Mahrez. Like we have not mentioned him once.
Yeah.
You got Julian Alvarez too. That is coming in. That guy's class.
That's what I'm saying.
He's really good.
City's recruitment, even though people make fun of it, saying, "Oh, they spend so much money." Like, guess what? Like, they have money to their disposal, and they're spending it right. Like, granted, 100 million is not the right amount to spend, but still, they're spending it in the right positions.
Listen, they did great business selling players this year too. They sold Raheem Sterling for about £50 million with 1 year left on his contract.
Yes, that's impressive.
That is crazy.
Because most players will just take it on the chin, wait that one season, and leave for the free and get more money. Whereas they're actually able to get a fee for him, which is unheard
$50 million
of.
for someone with 1 year left on contract. That's incredible business.
Yes,
the great business with Zinchenko. I think they got $30 million for him.
Yeah.
So their net spend was positive, I believe.
But also Gabby Jesus.
Gabriel Jesus.
That's another one. Yeah.
Like if we look at, like, it's crazy to see because these City players have now left City. Like Raheem Sterling, we always known he's a decent talent. I've always said he's overrated on the show, but that's just me. But if we even look at the likes of Zinchenko, we see him sort of I don't think thriving is the right word, but he's sort of blossoming into the player that he's always wanted to be at City because he can never play in the midfield because how are you going to play over a Gundogan, a Phil Foden, a Kevin De Bruyne, a Bernardo Silva? Like you have no chance of playing in the midfield in that team. And now that we see him as sort of a midfield option for Arsenal, we sort of see like, oh wow, he's actually a decent player. We just never really like saw it. You saw like hints of it when he played for the national team for Ukraine, but now we see a real player there, and we see Gabby Jesus being such a versatile attacker within that Arsenal side. And we even see Raheem Sterling. Like, granted, he really didn't show up this past weekend, but still, the first 2 games for Chelsea, he was sensational.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just shows you how hard it is to get into the City team and how competitive it is. I mean, a lot of their players could branch out to other Premier League teams and do well.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Raheem Sterling, we have to talk about the Chelsea 3-0.
Crazy game.
Ardi as the... No, not me. Mustafa as the resident Chelsea fan in the room at the moment. Usually we have Besmir with his propaganda. He's the Chelsea politician, as I call him. Ardi, tell me what you thought about this weekend.
I think we started off okay the first 15, 20 minutes. Our issue is there's just no goals in this team right now. There's no consistency and there's no goals. I mean, Kai Havertz is known to be a slow starter for every season he's been with us so far, but he's just not playing as well as he should be. Sterling had an okay game. Gallagher got, I think, a little too much hate for how he played.
Mm-hmm.
It's his first full 90. So
for a Chelsea side too, it's not even like he's
betting.
Yeah,
he plays so many games for Palace, but it's not.
Yeah, but you're betting into a new team, and also that Chelsea team. To Chelsea's credit, I don't like defending Chelsea that often, but to Chelsea's credit, you were playing a whole new formation.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were playing a 4 at the back. Do you think that was? I mean, it was a risk and it failed, as we obviously saw. But do you think that that's the way to go for Chelsea, or is 5 at the back the only way that team's going to be able to play?
I think 5 at the back's the way to go, depending on how the injury situation looks like.
Yeah. Because
if, like I said, Koulibaly is going to be out for next game, I don't know how we're going to line up next game. Maybe 4 in the back. I don't think so. But my main concern is I hate seeing Reece James playing in the back 3. I want to see him play at right wing back. He just gives us so much more going forward. Ruben's been playing okay at right wing back. No, we're just so much better.
I'm sorry. Ruben Loftus-Cheek should not be a wing back.
No, he's not.
He is not good enough to play in that Chelsea midfield. There's no excuse for Ruben Loftus-Cheek to be in this team right now.
No, but when he's been put at right back this game and last game, he wasn't terrible, in my opinion. But Reece James needs to play right wing back. He gives us so many good deliveries going up front. Defensively, he's unbelievable.
I mean, if you want right back, we got Aaron Wan-Bissaka for you. If you want, you can take him.
I think
we'll take Reece James.
50 mil if you want. Just give us a cheeky 50 mil. Don't worry, bro.
Looking at Maguire, I was almost pulling my
please,
head
please. We will pay you guys money to take Maguire. I beg you, please.
Yeah, what's funny is a lot of United fans have that same mindset of like we beg Chelsea fans to take him or Chelsea to take him, but it's like if you actually think about it, Maguire would actually play pretty well in that system because what do you mean, Ardi? He's suited to back 3.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Exactly. It doesn't matter.
What do you mean?
He's a liability. Chelsea cannot afford to have liabilities in their team right now, dude.
No, but we're structured well where mediocre center back can still do well in our system.
Yeah, but Chelsea, I don't think has had a mediocre center back in a long time.
I agree, but
they haven't.
It was like Trevor Chalobah who looked good in the back 3, and he's a good player, but he's not.
But he's young.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I talk about this with Besmir all the time. He's like, yeah, it's good that Chelsea's able to turn over youth talent, but letting go of a Tomori, letting go of a Gahey, letting go of a Livramento, letting go of players of even Rudiger and Christensen, I mean, granted, at the time, you guys were under strict restrictions and you couldn't really renegotiate contracts after a certain point. But still, it's the point of the fact that it had to wait so long to fix these issues with such important players in the team.
No, I think the Rudiger situation was an utter disaster on Chelsea's part. You knew that you were going to have to pay a big transfer fee to replace him. Mm-hmm. And guess what? The reason we didn't sign him is because we didn't want to pay his wages. I think he wanted £250,000 a week. Guess what? You paid $40 million for Koulibaly. He's older, and his wages are higher than Rudiger's would have been if you re-signed him.
Yeah.
So it made no sense.
Yeah.
Rudiger was Chelsea through and through. He was one of our best players last season. It was a terrible move.
But I think
Koulibaly's great, but
do you think that's because of it's under new ownership and different people running it now? Because under Todd Bowley, he's willing to spend that money. He doesn't care. But at the time, when you have a whole different Chelsea recruiting staff, they wanted to sort of pay it differently because they had a wage structure, they had things how they wanted, whereas now it's sort of all like willy-nilly, like things are like sort of like in the air trying to figure it out how it's going to work.
Yeah, I mean they're hard negotiations with the players. They don't like giving into players' demands all the time, obviously. But yeah, I mean you just knew you're gonna have to replace them with an expensive center back, so it made no sense for me.
Well, here's the thing: if there's one person in this room who deserves to hate Barcelona right now, it is Chelsea fans because yeah, but like here's the thing: they've taken at least 3 of your transfer targets.
Oh no, I wish you nothing but the worst. I wish you downfall. I hope
Rafinha, Jules Koundé. I think you guys were linked to Kessie at first, but he signed the free with Barcelona. Took Christensen from you.
Yeah, they can have Christensen. I hope he gets tummy aches before every game. But I hope we verse him. I hope we get paired up with him in the knockout stages of the Champions League. Just to demolish him.
That'd be so.
I mean, the Koundé thing was rough, but I think that was more on us than Barcelona stealing him because we could have locked that up earlier in the summer.
Yeah.
But we were playing games. We were talking about Skriniar, Kempembe. You could have had Koundé.
Yeah.
Rafinha, that was rough.
Just pay the money.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing though. It's like, who do you think is more desperate for center backs right now, United or Chelsea?
That's a good question. I'd say I don't know. I think you could go both ways. I would go Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea.
I would go Chelsea.
Just because they lost so many and they have to bet in so many more.
Exactly.
I think that's the bigger issue there. But here's my question. Milan Skriniar, one of probably the best center backs in world football at the moment, right? He's always a solid performer. How is he still at Inter Milan, I want to know? How is nobody just like, you know what? We'll spend $88 million on Maguire, no problem, but 65, $70 million for Skriniar, it's a risk. Like, why are clubs not biting in for this player?
I don't understand it too, because I know the 2 major teams that were looking at him were PSG and Chelsea.
Mm-hmm. And United were in for him as well, but we got told no. We were straight told no.
Yeah, I mean, when you're out of Champions League football, it's hard to attract players.
Well, no. United offered $80 million and they were told no. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, I mean, what was the price like Inter have him on, like $70 million?
No, Inter said like 85 for English clubs and then 70 for European clubs.
These clubs are just taking advantage of Premier League clubs at this point.
Well, because, dude, I mean, Premier League clubs, look at like how much a club like Nottingham Forest have spent. Granted, they spent well. They bought in 12 players to help bring in a team that has to adjust to Premier League football. I mean, but still, the fact that once you get into the Premier League, the money is yours. Like, you're able to spend a decent amount of money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think with Skriniar, Inter are at a point right now where they also need center backs. And if they were to sell their... Yeah, no, they do, because... Think about it. They have Bastoni, Skriniar, and De Vrij, right? But I don't think on the bench they have another, like... I mean, I'm sure they have center backs on the bench, but what I'm saying is...
For Italy, it's a bit different, though, no? Because, like, they don't play as many games as other leagues. Inter does have Champions League, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not... the league's not as intensive as, let's say, a Premier League or anywhere else. Like, Koulibaly even made the point. He's like, I've been cramping more in these practices alone just because the style of play is way higher tempo, it's way more aggressive, and I have to adjust to it. Now someone who's considered a top talent in the Serie A. So it's something that we have to sort of like, shift sideways with and adjust to.
Yeah, it's a different sense in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Koulibaly, even like you said, Koulibaly says it's going to take him a while to get adjusted to it. He's been playing good, but it takes time. It's a tough league. That's why some players love him to come.
I low-key feel bad for Koulibaly because he goes from scoring a banger for Chelsea to like tie up the game to like just being red carded. There's no that is just Koulibaly in a nutshell. That's the best way to explain him.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. I mean, we could really use him against Leicester coming up, but we'll see. I'm interested to see how we line up against Leicester.
Leicester is going to be an interesting game. I mean, here's the thing. A lot of teams have a lot of interesting games after. I mean, City, they're going to have an easy next game, I can see. Of course, you guys have Leicester. And then United has Southampton. Yeah. And knowing United will probably just lose after that game. That's just United fashion.
Last season, you drew them both times. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we'll probably lose the game. But anyways, talking about United, Liverpool 2-1. Ha-ha! Eat it! How about that, Liverpool fans? Ha-ha! That's all I got to say. That's the only time I'm going to enjoy a United game this season probably, but it is what it is. So, United 2-1. Ali.
Yeah.
Obviously, us two are United fans. For once, there's a United majority in the studio. I'm very, very happy about this. What do you think about this game this past weekend?
I thought from minute one, United showed... And you know what? Before I say this is crazy to say because of what we've seen in the past year and a half with this squad.
Yeah.
I thought from minute one, United had crazy intensity, running at everything, putting in tackles, challenges. They surprisingly showed that they wanted this game more than Liverpool.
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds, because Liverpool's teams, Klopp, the way he drills them, the way he coaches them is like, you got to run more than everyone else. You got to be sprinting. You got to be pressing. You got to make your opponent super frustrated. And that's what we did to Liverpool, which is shocking. And I think that, I'm actually going to disagree with you. I think this game against Southampton, this is when we start to kick on now.
All I know is that every time I'm positive by Man United, it always goes sideways. So I'd much rather be proven wrong and be showed them I'm a bad fan than always having too high of hopes for them.
I'm telling you, United's season kicks on now. It's going to kick on now. I mean,
here's the thing, right? I don't know how the season is going to go just because we have so many unresolved issues in the team.
Yeah.
We still have to figure out what's going on with Ronaldo. We still have to sign a center defensive mid. Like, I don't know why people don't understand that's what we need. Well, we need that. We need a center defensive mid.
Well, we got it.
I mean...
Casemiro.
We did. We got
He's
Casemiro.
one of the best in the world already.
I know, but I'm just worried. I don't think you understand. I'm worried.
Why?
Every time United does something, it always looks like it's going to go great. Last season, we got Ronaldo. We got Sancho. We got Varane. It's going to be a great season. We finished second. Boom. Horrendous season. I have to be very careful with my hopes for United because time and time again, I get disappointed. So I have to be very careful with this.
Yeah, no, I would say that's very responsible of you.
Because what happened last year when we had a United episode? What happened? You guys were like, this is going to happen. It's going to be great. We're going to bounce back. You and Nebby were like, it's going to be awesome. Meanwhile, I'm like, the letters are on the wall. It's there. There's an issue. We are all ignoring it. We have to fix it. You guys were like, no, it's going to be fine. And what happened? 2 weeks later, what did you tell me? You're like, you were right.
Yeah, no, it was a crap season. And, look, I think... So you were just talking about Ronaldo. I think that, as crazy as it sounds, I think this team plays much, much, much better without Ronaldo on that side.
Oh, my God.
And the reason why is you could tell, watch that game, the first 80 minutes or the 80 minutes when Ronaldo's not in there, he's on the bench. You could tell there's chemistry, they're passing, they're not looking up and like, I got to get that ball to Ronaldo. The moment Ronaldo comes in, you could even see Bruno, captain. He shifted his focus to, okay, let me try to hit Ronaldo with this ball. Let me try to do this. And I think that was our issue last year. The whole attack was based on Ronaldo. And look, it's happened to other teams before. It's not just United. When Ronaldo went to Juventus,
same thing happened to Juve.
They had to do the same thing.
Went down.
He had teammates talking. After he left Juve, you had Buffon talk about it. I think Chiellini said something where they were like, "Yeah, we had to change our whole style to suit Ronaldo." Which, yes, it can be great when he's banging in 50 goals a year, but you cannot put your whole entire team style to one player. That just doesn't.
There's 2 points
work.
I make about this Ronaldo situation. The first point is that a club like Manchester United, granted we haven't had a solid club culture in a long time. The one consistent thing about Manchester United is that there's never been a player bigger than the club.
Yeah.
Like, granted, people always say like, what about Beckham? Like when he was at his thing, or what about Wayne Rooney at his prime, or even when you had players like Zlatan and Cantona, like they were still never bigger than the club.
Absolutely. And
when you have someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, the biggest player in the world, he's bigger than every club in the world. Realistically, he is. He's bigger than a Real Madrid. He's bigger than a Barcelona, bigger than a Chelsea, bigger than a Man United, bigger than a Man City. Anybody, no one compares to a Cristiano Ronaldo. He's the biggest name, he's the most profitable name, and he's the most marketable name.
For sure.
Which is the biggest issue for any club. And what was my second point going to be? I forgot it. But just to that point alone, that's why I am of the belief it's either we just terminate his contract or we sell him. Like, that's the point that has to be at, because he wants to be in the Champions League, fine, let him go. Let him play at Borussia or Sporting Lisbon. Just let him play in the Champions League. But this club cannot afford to keep resetting and redoing everything just because there's one player that they try to conform to. Same thing happened with Pogba. They kept trying to conform to him. Granted, I miss him. I think that
I don't.
I know you don't, but
don't.
there's times against Brentford I saw where it's like it was just crying for that nice little Pogba switch to the left field to Rashford. That cheeky little ball. But that's sort of like one of the bigger things that you have to like be worried about for Manchester United. And then secondly, it's like, yes, we bring in Casemiro and all this stuff, but there's still the Glazers out argument that's out there for United, right? It's like we need a new owner and everything. We need all this to happen, but they're trying to hide it with, we'll spend money if you just leave us alone,
Yeah, and I think, like, just a quick point to that is you'll never find this United side or this team have long-term success as long as the Glazers are in this club and owning us. It has to be this time next year the club is sold, and that's when we'll have high hopes for the future.
Yeah.
They have destroyed our club, and it's time for a change. And yeah, the message will forever be Glazers out.
Yeah. So just to switch gears back to the game itself, we talked about Ronaldo and everything, about United's issues. Again, I'm sorry, it's a weekly thing, but I have this is therapeutic for me. All right, I'm finally able to talk about my issues with my longtime lover. My longest relationship, it's been tough. It's a rocky one, but we move on from it. But that game, do you think that we were very fortunate for Liverpool to be missing a decent amount of their players? Like Darwin Núñez was out. They had injuries to Konate, Matip, Keita. I'm trying to think. They were missing one more player. Thiago. Fabinho was technically out, but he was on the bench. They didn't want to risk him getting injured, but he still subbed in. Yeah. Do you think that it was just a perfect storm what happened in the weekend? Like, that it was just Liverpool was missing a lot of players and that United needed that bounce back, that it was just a perfect mesh of what could have been?
I could agree with that, yeah. I for sure. But also, like, credit where credit is due, like United just put in a performance, but 100%, the fact that they had all these injuries and not having Darwin, that hold up player, the guy that can back into Varane or Martinez and hold that ball. So because
Firmino's not going to thrive against those types of center backs. And we also saw he was trying to be too overtly creative on the weekend, right? He was doing too much of those flicks, too much of trying to make like a splitting thread the needle pass. It's like we know Liverpool of when they have to do that and when they don't have to do that. They're a really decisive team and they know when to do it right. But on the weekend we just didn't see that. I will say though, as soon as like Carvalho came on for Liverpool on the second half, I was legitimately worried because as soon as he came in, it was like a whole different game for them.
Yeah, he had a big impact, and I just think for Liverpool, I mean, it's going to be tough to beat top teams when you have Milner, Henderson, and Elliott in the middle.
Yeah.
No, Harvey Elliott, I think, was the shining light of that midfield against United. He was the one causing a lot of issues with McTominay, really trying to break balls through. He's a really good player. I think if I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm upset that Curtis Jones doesn't get minutes in this game. Personally, I don't think Milner's anywhere near the capacity to be playing against high-level teams anymore. And there's a lot of high-level teams in the Prem now. He's too old. He's not fast enough. That Sancho goal, we saw it. People were trying to blame Van Dijk, but clearly Milner got sold. He got sold to his left. Sancho baited out and slotted in on the left side. And then Van Dijk can't really step to that goal because he has Bruno Fernandes to his right side. He's worried about the sweat. He has to cover his lines, and then he just gets split apart.
Yeah.
I feel like Van Dijk could have done a little bit more on that goal. Like, I feel like he was a bit stationary there. But yeah, like you said, Milner is not enough.
No.
You need more depth. I don't know if they'll make another signing in center midfield. You have 1 week left. I don't see it happening.
Liverpool, I think, won't do it because they only spend the money on the right players. We've seen it
they want the perfect player.
Yeah, we've seen it with the Salahs. We've seen it with Alisson save, bro.
Yeah.
The Alisson save.
On the Eriksson free kick? Yeah. They should have gone for Jude. Seriously.
No, they wanted him. No. They wanted him, but Dortmund said no.
Really?
Yeah, Dortmund said no.
But there's a price for everyone.
No, but
team says
Dortmund cannot afford to lose Haaland and lose Bellingham in one summer.
In one season, yeah.
They really can't. So they'll much rather have the one more season of vetting in Jude Bellingham as like a world talent, letting him showcase his talents even more, let him have a World Cup year, and then make a boatload of money off of him. They're smart. They know.
Yeah.
Plus, Dartmouth's also had a phenomenal window. They brought in 12 players.
Yeah.
Granted, Daniel Mallon, let's hope he, Seb Haller, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
testicular cancer.
Right?
Yeah.
Testicular cancer.
Yep, let's hope he recovers. But, like I'm saying, Liverpool, Jude Bellingham, not going to happen. They do need a center mid signing, but Liverpool always spend the money on the right player, not on just anybody.
Yeah.
And I don't even think there's anybody in the market that they could really bring in to fill in there, because when you have a Fabinho full health, when you have a Thiago, your starting midfield is going to be a Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think that game, they had a weak midfield, Liverpool, but United did look really good in my opinion.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to say, I'd love to see your downfall, but they played great. I think a huge aspect of that was Old Trafford was on fire.
Yeah.
The second the whistle blew, Old Trafford was on fire. I felt like you guys had 12 men on the pitch, and I'm not saying the ref. Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Fans. It was electric.
Absolutely.
I mean, every sprint they made, you hear it was rolling. It might have been an earthquake there.
It was
crazy.
amazing.
But you did see the performance dip from the fans as soon as 17th minute. The walkout started. There was, I think, half the stadium walked out, if I'm not mistaken.
Was it really?
Well, I saw people walking out on the screen, but I never got told the number because the media likes to hide it. But
Interesting. I mean, there was a lot of people already protesting outside that didn't go in. You know, there was. I think numbers were, outside the stadium above like 10, 15,000.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
I
just.
don't think it'll ever come into fruition where like they empty out Old Trafford for a game.
No, because there's too many casuals. There's way too many casuals.
But I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
There's too many fans there.
Yeah.
But just talk about the United performance. I think one of the starlets of that game was Malacia.
Yeah.
My God.
It's unbelievable.
Luke Shaw, be scared. Because, Harry Maguire has an easier chance to get back in this team than you do with Malacia. It's actually crazy. And don't get me wrong, I am a Luke Shaw lover. I defend Luke Shaw every single day on this podcast. Every time we have a Besmir on, we talks about Ben Chilwell. I said, look at the Euro. Look what Luke Shaw did. Only won the score in the final. Keep talking. But he has been on a decline recently. He has been performing well. And Tyrell Malacia just looked electric on the weekend. Martinez, him and Malacia linked up well. Alanga, wow. Just wow. Last season I thought I was impressed. He looks even better than he did last season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, Malacia, Martinez, Ilanga. Ilanga is just electric now. Like his pace.
Yeah.
I mean, Alexander-Arnold could not.
He couldn't handle him.
He couldn't handle him. That goal, Ilanga sort of created it, that Eriksson pass, and then Ilanga kicked it in. But yeah, to go back to Malacia, that kid just has hunger. Fight. He, even when Salah beat him a couple times, he just didn't give up. He went straight for the slide and took him out and the ball. Malacia's a star in the future.
Here's my question: Were you scared about McTominay playing at all during the game?
I was, but I have to be fully honest. I did not think he was that bad.
He wasn't that bad, but I really wish Donnie just played. I don't get it. I don't get it. How is he not getting minutes?
Yeah, but Ardi, you gotta realize it's 3 different managers that haven't been playing him, and Ten Hag had a good relationship with him at Ajax. But if 3 managers, and even at Everton, he didn't. No. Everton, he got injured. But when him and Dele Alli came in, it was the sole reason why they didn't get relegated. Because they had no strikers, they were the only creative midfielders, and they were actually able to assist goals to Richarlison. So, Donny van de Beek is a class player. Yeah, but with Casemiro coming in, I don't see him getting it.
Oh, no. If Casemiro was in, there's no way. I could see him rotating out for an Eriksen maybe, because Eriksen still does have a heart condition. We don't want to hurt the poor guy.
He looks great, though.
He looks great. I know he doesn't. He looks electric. Yeah. Oh my God.
But I think with the Casemiro signing, it brings you some stability that you guys really need. I'm just wondering what do you guys think? How do you think you line up? How does that mid 3 look?
It's gonna be Eriksen, Casemiro, Fernandes.
But Eriksen and Casemiro next to each other?
Double pivot.
I don't think it's gonna be double pivot.
Really?
You think Casemiro behind Eriksen?
Do you know what I think it's gonna be? I think it's gonna be Casemiro playing as a deep 6, and that Fernandes is going to be playing box to box, and that Eriksen's going to be allowed to have that free roam leeway of just creating passes and springing balls. Because if you look at a United team, every time that's worked, like for example, when Mourinho got second place that season, right? Mm-hmm. The reason why it worked so well is because we had Matic, who was still decent at the time, covering that center defensive midfield spot. You had someone in the likes of Paul Pogba just springing balls loosely, and then you had that box to box midfielder, Ander Herrera.
Yeah.
Like it was a perfect combination of players that we see works time and time again, no matter what team it is. Even for Chelsea, with Chelsea, when you have a Conte, Kovacic, and Mason Mount playing, you have that box-to-box defensive midfielder. You have that free roaming, ball player. Then you have that center defensive midfielder. It always works out for no matter what team it is.
Yeah, it gives your team so much more flexibility.
Yeah,
and that's why I think Casemiro. I know he's 30 and you paid a lot for him, but you'll get some good years out of him.
Well, yeah. At this point, I think for him, it's a nice stopgap for the next 2 years until we find the right replacement. Even though I think Ndidi's the right replacement. Personally, I would love to have Wilfred Ndidi in my club.
Really I don't know.
Not over Casemiro, but I'm saying because the thing is that Casemiro only came because of high wages, which is what worries me a bit. Because don't get me wrong, he's still gonna be professional. I think he's still gonna play the game. But when you bring in a player based off the wages, based off of how they want to play like that, it's a little concerning.
Yeah, I think wages were definitely part of it, but I think it was more so like Real Madrid had Camavinga coming in, Tchouaméni coming in. They were coming for a spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Valverde,
But yeah, I mean, he's a good signing. He gives you stability, and there wasn't much better in the market for you guys.
Maybe
a Mateus Nunes or something.
No, Mateus Nunes I think is confirmed going to Wolves.
No, he's at Wolves now. I'm just saying your potential options.
Early on.
Yeah, I mean, Ruben Neves, Wilfred Ndidi, Conrad Leimer. Like, why is no one going in for him, honestly?
I don't know.
If I'm a Liverpool, if you want a stopgap player, that's not a bad shout.
Yeah.
Someone who would be more than decent enough for Liverpool. But I do have to say, if there's one person that filled my heart, it was Anthony Martial. He looks like the Martial of yesterday. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yeah, Martial just you could tell when halftime, after halftime, Elanga came off, Martial came in. He was like the glue for that attack. He does not, you look at Martial and you're like, this isn't the biggest guy you see, but he's really good at holding that ball up, and behind him is Van Dijk or Joe Gomez, and then he'll twist, turn, dribble, give the pass. If Martial plays like this all season and hopefully he just stays injury free, that's the big issue with Martial is he's not always available. I can see like a really good season from him.
Because think about that 2021 season. That was a Fernandez Martial show. Like everyone forgets how great Martial was that season. I think Sevilla, him going on loan, was a wake up call for him. Yeah. I think that little loan spell sort of made him realize like this is my only chance. Like no one wants to buy me. Sevilla doesn't want to re up my loan. I have to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what happened to Sevilla showed him that the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had a good. He was the one that assisted Rashford, right? That was a ball.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I mean, he played it good. I mean,
I think he just loves performing against Liverpool. Like his first game ever in the Premier League, just tears Liverpool apart. He just loves playing against Liverpool.
That's when we fell in love with him.
Exactly.
Like, it was from that moment, that goal he scored. Oh my goodness! It was.
I just say that commentator for that game was a bit biased because like he's like, oh Martial, what a sensational goal.
Wasn't it?
Benteke gets a bicycle kick. It's like, oh yeah, what a great goal from Benteke.
Yeah,
it's like. Yeah. Or like, don't get me wrong, I love Martial, but that bicycle kick was actually just insane what he just did.
Yeah,
but anyways, back to the game at hand. The team's looking good. Jadon Sancho, I mentioned it a bit earlier with how he twist-turned that Liverpool defense, but my God, is he looking revitalized.
Yeah. I mean, Sancho, it's about time because look, last season, everyone was complaining and shouting for a great Sancho performance, and we weren't really getting it.
I mean, we got a couple,
but we were for that price tag and what we saw at Dortmund, it's like we needed to see that translate.
Do you think that was the Ronaldo effect? Do you think that because he came into the team, it was hard for players like that to adjust?
It could be that, but for me, I think it was more so of him adjusting to the Premier League.
Okay.
To go from Bundesliga to Prem and then tough. Just expect the kid to go and break defenders.
Yeah, I would say like
not
everybody's a Haaland. They can't just switch leagues and have fun. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that now this is the season where he kicks on and shows us more of these performances. Hopefully.
Yeah. I'm trying to think because we had the 2 goals. The second goal, was it offsides?
No.
Ardi?
100%. I don't know how you see that and not call it offsides, in my opinion.
Do you think that it was just the angle that the camera was showing us? Because the way how I saw it when the ball was being played and everything, the foot looked level with the defender. But when you see it in that replay and they sort of like tilt the camera a bit, it does look offsides. I agree.
Yeah, camera angle is going to be deceiving. But
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
that's like a standard camera angle they use for most of them. That's the thing.
well, do you think that they're messing up again with
Yeah,
VAR?
listen,
I wouldn't doubt
VAR,
it.
I'm not the fan. I'm
about to say.
100%. But I personally thought it was offsides.
Yeah.
But you know,
Look, the thing is, VAR did so. Offside is determined. When it goes to VAR, the ultimate decision comes down to that line that's drawn.
Yeah.
So had this been last year or 2 years ago, that 100% would have been called
offsides,
offside.
yes.
Why the line would have been a lot thinner, and then IFAB, which is the referee association
Yes.
for FIFA, decided that okay, when we draw that VAR line, that line can be thicker. And that's exactly what they did. So that's why when you'd see that replay, they drew that line. You're
It was
just
a
like,
thicker line. Yeah.
It looks like okay, he's off. I mean, he's onside. But then if you did that thinner line, then I guess that's when you could say, yep, he's clearly offside. So I don't know. I thought he was onside. That's my bias kicking in again.
All I have to say is that, just for quick context, Ardi and I, we do we do a fantasy Premier League. And this morning, our group chat for that fantasy Premier League was going off because of a certain somebody. I was absolutely loving it. It was great. I was just sitting there in the background, just like, twiddling my fingers, just like, it was great.
He's a troll.
He's a troll, and we love it. But here's the thing: if you're a Liverpool fan, are you worried, or do you think this was a good thing for them? It was sort of like a wake-up call, like, hey, you have to be playing better, because they drew their first 2 games and they lost the third.
I think there's some real worry there.
I agree.
3 games in a row, you dropped 7 points. They have 2 points now.
2 points.
Drop 7 points in 3. Every point counts.
Yep.
In the beginning of the season, yes. Well, here's the thing: do you get mad at Liverpool over the Fulham game, where Fulham are looking like a big threat this year? Mitrovic absolutely did everybody in that. It wasn't even just Van Dijk. He destroyed that midfield.
Yeah.
He demolished every defender in that Liverpool team. Do you think, like, just for that Fulham game, I know with Crystal Palace, red card, tough, Luis Diaz pulled a banger out of nowhere, helped Liverpool out, but for that Fulham game, do you think that they should be doing better against that team? Or it's just Mitrovic is a force to be reckoned with this season?
No, I think they have to do better against Fulham, and I think I'm not buying into the Fulham hype. I'm sorry. I'm not buying into the Mitrovic hype. I'm not buying into the Fulham hype.
You just don't like Serbians. I understand. I'm an Albanian, but we don't like Serbs. I get it. But Dejan, I'm sorry.
On record, I'm nothing against Serbs.
We make the joke all the time here because one of our co-hosts, Dejan, he's Serbian, and we always make the joke of like, Serb, ha.
We grew up with Serbians. We love them.
Yes.
We love the ones they play.
Shout out to Dragos, my Serbian Man United fan. We love you, buddy.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not buying into the hype. You have to do better. You can't drop points because of this. And the main reason I say Liverpool can't drop these kind of points is there's going to be a point in this season where City play 10 games and they get 30 points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be in October, November, whenever it is. They're going to play 10 games in a row and they're not going to drop 1 point.
Yeah.
And that's where they win the league.
I mean, here's the thing. Look at those games against like Bournemouth. Like, City know how to demolish smaller teams.
They put them away.
Like, do you think... Here's the thing. In my honest opinion, the only weak side I see is Bournemouth. Do you see any other weak sides in this league?
Everton when they're away from home.
Yeah, it's tough. But do you think Everton's going to make that, like 11th hour signing of a striker? Because Dominic Calvert-Lewin is too injury prone. Solomon Rondon obviously can't repeat his form from West Brom. Like, do you see them getting anybody else? Because they lost for Charleston. First off, real quick, Tottenham Hotspur, oh my God, their transfer business has me going mental. But back to the point. Where do we see we're going with Everton?
I don't know. I think a lot of it depends on this Anthony Gordon situation. I think if he goes, it frees up a lot of money. Listen, I'm a Chelsea fan. I do not want to pay $60 million for Anthony Gordon.
Well, here's the thing, because I think people forget how versatile Cucurella is. Like, even though he's a left wing back, he's played left wing most of his career. He's had a couple of games where he had to play center back. Like, if you ever need left wing coverage, you have a Cucurella to fill in there as well.
Well, I think the main viability with Anthony Gordon is he can play a lot of positions up top.
Yeah,
he can play right wing. He can play in the center. He can play left wing. But I don't see him starting for us unless we have some major injuries. Like, he's not going to get in over Gallagher. And Gallagher's a bench player.
Yeah, but you also made the point before we went on air. You have plenty of other players like this in your youth academy.
Yeah, I mean, Cobham, I think we have 10s of 20s Anthony Gordons at Cobham.
I'm about to say, because like if your transfer business shows everything, you clearly have talent there at your youth academy to take advantage of.
I mean, you see, we export so much talent. Look at Tamori, Abraham, Livramento, all these players.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about Tammy Abraham. Wow, he is killing it for Roma.
Yeah, and I think we did a really good job in having a buyback clause for him because realistically, I think we're end up buying him next season for $85 million.
You can use him right now. Think about it.
Can't bring him back now.
I'm saying Werner's gone. Lukaku, you guys were able to get loan, but you're going to get rid of him. What other strikers do you have?
I think Aubameyang. I think
that's the worst move for you guys possible.
Listen, I'm not a fan of it. I think it's a bandage on a big wound, but we need a striker right now. I'm a big fan of Broja.
I'm about to say you're better off investing in Broja than trying to invest in anyone else.
But I think Tuchel's kind of impatient now and wants goals now. Broja, listen, I'm Albanian. I love to see an Albanian play for Chelsea. I want to see Albanian start and put in goals for Chelsea. And I want to see Broja play a full 90 minutes. Because when you come in for 15 minutes, it's tough. You have your nerves, your feet feel heavy. I want to see him play a full 90 before I really make my decision on what's going to happen. But we have a week left. I think you got to bring a bomb.
Do you think that Chelsea might have to pull a United States men's national team and just throw Pulisic as striker and see what happens?
I don't think it'll work. I mean, Pulisic has better end product than I think Calum Hudson-Odoi, but no, I don't think it. I think Broja is the way to go up front. Kai's just not getting it.
I have a question. What's going on with Ziyech and Pulisic? Because supposedly Ziyech was supposed to go to AC Milan. Pulisic supposedly going on loan to United. What is going on with these players for you guys?
What I think is Pulisic is going to stay. We're not going to get him to United. We're not. It's just not going to happen.
Well, why not?
Because why would we get him to, guys?
I mean, we wouldn't mind him.
I mean, of course.
You have a sim. We'll give you Maguire, bro. It's fine.
Yeah.
we'll pay you $100 million, so you just have a Maguire alone. That's not even a Pulisic fee. Come on.
The Ziyech situation, I think he's going to go to Ajax, but it depends on what happens with Anthony.
He is so 100%. Disrespected. I'm going to say this right now. It makes no sense why he's not starting for the Chelsea team. I'm sorry.
The thing is, he struggles when we play with 5 at the back, 3 at the back. He plays really good when we have 4 at the back, and we just don't. We don't play that many games with 4 at the back.
Well, I think the issue is that you've been forcing Mason Mount to be playing that right forward position for so long that you're expecting him to play in that same performance when they're two different players.
Yeah.
Like Ziyech, don't forget that Champions League run you guys had before you got knocked out. Ziyech was absolutely sensational for you.
He's on fire.
He was amazing.
He's on fire. And I hate what we did to him, but he's on the way out. I think he's going to go to Ajax. I mean, what happens to Anthony? They want $100 million. That's a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
I can't believe what these clubs are demanding of Premier League clubs to pay.
Dude, look at Gakpo. Gakpo, they want $60 million.
They're going to take like 40. They'll take it.
Yeah, but they asked for 60. Oh,
yeah,
but don't forget. Are you saying 40 million pounds or 40 million?
Pounds.
Yeah, but that's still 60 million. That's my 60 million.
Yeah,
that's
but
what I'm trying to make right now.
I mean, look, for Gakpo, I would say that yes, it's still quite high. Like, okay, he plays Eredivisie.
I'm gonna say this right now. We have Heath Chong.
Oh my God.
No. He was sensational in the championship. Being a good championship player is the same as being a good Eredivisie player. I'm saying it right now.
Ardi, I'm telling you right now. I have to be fully. This is what I think. From our youth attackers, wingers in parts, specifically, I think the brightest talent we have is Garnacho. I don't think Chong's gonna make it. I don't think who else we got in those positions.
Palestri, Diallo, we signed them.
I don't think they're gonna make it.
Bro, Diallo is class for Rangers, my guy.
Possibly, but not the others. It's done. It's not.
You see, that's the one part I will have faith in.
I don't know. Ardi, they've had so much. It's been a couple of years now, and they still haven't broken in. So it tells you something.
Palestri just got signed last year, and he got loaned out. Give him credit.
No, it's 2 years ago.
COVID doesn't count.
You don't count that.
No, we don't count COVID. Okay. COVID does not exist. No, I'm joking. It does. No, please do not take me seriously. I'm making jokes. I swear to God, please do not take me seriously. But yeah, okay. So I still believe in them. I don't think it's worth spending that $80 million for Anthony personally. I don't think it is. It's not worth it for United.
You want me to tell you why I think it is?
Why?
The manager's asking for it. And you must
because he has no other options. We have not given him any other options. That's the biggest worry about what's going on right now.
What do you mean other options? He asked for Anthony in the beginning of the window, way before this time. He said Frankie, Anthony, a striker, which they haven't done yet. So it's not like.
Well, that's why I personally would want us to invest more in finding a striker than trying to sign Anthony. That's just personally how I would see it.
And I get that, and that's also a very important position. But what Anthony brings, look, I don't agree with the price tag. I think 80, 100, even 70 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
However, this is what happens when you wait for the final 2 weeks of the window and you want a player. You're going to be charged high amounts. And like Ardi said earlier, Mustafa, just so everyone knows.
Clarification.
Yeah. But anyways, like Mustafa said earlier, Premier League teams are being taxed like crazy for these players.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a quote unquote tax. But I think the reason why Antony, you have to go for it and whatever, forget the price tag. He's a right winger, right? Plays off the right. He's left-footed. He's quick. He can take defenders one-on-one. There's moments he's been doubled and he still gets past those players, and then he hits crosses into the main striker, or he can, curl it. He's a great
I'm going to say this right now.
I think he'll be great.
We used to have a player that was exactly Anthony's profile, and even better, it was Daniel James. Daniel James, the most disrespected Manchester United player. I'm sorry. There was no reason for us to sell him to Leeds. No reason.
I think that was some of the best business you guys did.
We talked about no, get out of here. We could have used him. Are you serious right now? Besides, Anthony's not going to start. Who's going to start over?
What do you mean? Anthony's going to start.
He's got to start.
Where?
On the right, Ardi.
That's where Sancho plays.
What do you mean? You put Sancho on the left and you play Rashford striker. You bring in Martial.
We just talked about how great of a game Alenga just had. Are we just forgetting about Alenga now?
Alenga doesn't start if they bring it into.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what. But I believe investing in Alenga more than Anthony.
Okay, but Ardi, don't you also believe in squad depth?
I do.
Okay, you bring in Anthony Gakpo. You have depth in attack now. This is what you need. You cannot rely on youngsters to take you to a top 4 finish.
Excuse me. Do you forget 1992, my guy, to 1999? Do you forget that?
You're comparing Ilanga, Chong, Palestri, Diallo to class of 92. Come on, Ardi.
I'm not comparing to that. I'm just saying it's been done before. I'm not comparing.
But class of 92 is so rare to pull off again. To get that many players out of a class, I mean,
that's like a 1 in a million.
Yeah,
history tends to repeat itself.
All right. I hope you're right.
Okay, no. Okay, look, I'm just gonna say, I do think we do need depth. Like Anthony's a great player. I obviously love him. He's always a good player. All jokes aside, I'm just worried about the price tag because I don't want to keep. I just want to keep overpaying for players because Liverpool has obviously been able to get some steals. Teams like City were able to get like Julian Alvarez for only 20 million out of Argentina, right? Even look at Gravenberch went to Bayern for 17 million. Like
young player.
I just get annoyed at paying all these high price tags for no reason when there's clearly good options out there that we just don't want to invest in.
Yeah, like if Gravenberch came to the Premier League, he would have been a $60 million player.
I don't think so. I don't think he's 60 million.
Not 60 million. That's an exaggeration, but he's not getting sold to Man United for 17 million.
No, double.
It's just not going to happen.
At least double.
I mean, Bayern Munich have money as well, but yet they were able to get these signings.
But it's weird. Like I don't understand that.
Look, the thing is, give credit where credit's due. Bayern is run amazingly well. One of the best they're run the right way.
Bayern is like the mob. They like scare people. I think that's what it is. Because hey, here is a footballing conspiracy theory. Alvaro Morata is a way to money launder. I'm saying it right now. The amount of times he leaves clubs for the 40 million, 50 million, he is money laundering for them. This makes no sense. I think Bayern are the same way. The German mob of some sort, like I don't trust it. There's something fishy going on. No, all jokes aside, Bayern's such a well ran club. The recruitment's sensational. Bringing in players like De Ligt, they brought in Mane, they brought in Gravenberch, they brought in Mazraoui on a free.
Yeah.
Like the German clubs do it differently, and we see it with Dortmund as well.
Yeah, Bayern's a machine.
Yeah.
They're going to win the Bundesliga again. I mean, their business is great.
Actually, I don't know. Dortmund, I would watch out for Dortmund this year.
I think they'll be okay. I thought Ronaldo would have made a lot of sense at Dortmund.
I think
that made so much
sense. No. It makes sense with losing Seb Haller for the season.
He's going to be out for the season, right?
I think he's going to be out for the season. Yeah.
That makes Ronaldo's looking for a 1 year type of thing.
Yeah.
You get your Champions League there.
But I'm just saying it makes more sense for Ronaldo to go back to Sporting. Because Sporting are guaranteed Champions League every single season. He just wants Champions League goals.
I know. He loves records. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I'm a Ronaldo fan. He's my favorite player. He's the greatest of all time, in my opinion.
I think all three of us, right? Wait, real quick. All three of us are Team Ronaldo, right?
Absolutely. I love Ronaldo.
Yep. If you don't like Messi, get out of here. We don't like you. You're not. I'm joking. WMSC welcomes anybody of any sort. We do not. You can listen if you want. We're not forcing anything on you.
There's no Liverpool fans.
Oh man.
Sorry, Mihao.
Nah, but in seriousness, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Is it worth it to go to Sporting for what, like 3 Champions League goals?
It's not gonna be 3. Are you kidding me?
No.
Look what he did. Look at what he did with United, bro.
I get it, but
he carried us in the Champions League.
He's got to be playing one of the big 5 leagues. Has to be.
I don't think so.
I wanted him at Chelsea.
He's gonna. I'm telling you right. No one understands how Ronaldo's gonna ruin your club.
He won't ruin our club.
I think he will. With brand new ownership, where there's not that much of a defined role in the board at the moment of a whole new. Chelsea's doing a whole new thing right now with Todd Bowley. It's too much of a risk to throw Ronaldo in there because it's just gonna like put. I'm trying to think of the right analogy. It's basically trying to put a piece of paper into a cog is going to slow it down and mess things up a bit.
I think we can afford to have him up there because what we struggled with last season was goals. Ronaldo, you bring him to Chelsea, he's scoring 15 goals.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this. I don't think
just think about Reece James on the right delivering Ronaldo the perfect.
But I'm just telling you right now. I don't think United would allow him to go to Chelsea because they know what would happen.
I think Tuchel probably didn't want him.
Yeah, Tuchel doesn't.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
For some reason,
he doesn't. No, but he does. Okay, so this goes to the next topic.
He doesn't want to deal with his attitude too.
We're just going to the next topic about what we think about Thomas Tuchel. Tuchel does not handle egos well. We saw this at PSG. He couldn't handle the Neymar and Mbappe egos. We've seen this recently at Chelsea with the likes of a Lukaku because he is a bit egotistical. We spoke about this on the show before. He treats himself to be as, let's say, an NBA type talent, right? That's how he acts like. He acts like one of those like basketball players. He's always like cocky on it. Like
Lukaku?
Yeah, that's how he acts, right? So I think for Thomas Tuchel, he needs a team where everyone buys into the system. There's no overarching egos. No one questions how it goes. You have to buy in. And if you have Ronaldo there, questions are going to be thrown at you nonstop.
I agree. I mean, I just thought it was a risk worth taking. You would have got him for probably $20 million. He pays for himself market value just off shirt sales.
Yeah, but salary? Come on, dude. United's paying him $500K a week right now.
But he just brings in so much value to the team. He brings in goals, and guess what? If it doesn't work out, Tuchel will bench him. He will bench any player. He does not care.
Yeah. I mean, Bowley did meet with George Mendes.
I think Bowley wants it.
And he did want it, but apparently what's reported, I mean, I think it's true, Tuchel
said no.
And that's what I like about what we did this window is Tuchel is very involved in the process. It's like,
which is good.
Bowley said, do you want this guy, this guy, this guy? Tuchel, I want him. I don't want him. It worked well.
I have a proposal for you. Right. You take Todd Bowley. Oh, no, you give us Todd Bowley, we give you the Glazers.
Right, you got to give us like $3 billion more, though.
Okay, but we'll also throw in Harry Maguire, we'll pay you more. How's that sound?
Listen, I like the Bowley. I like Bowley. I'm excited for the Bowley era. I know there was a lot of skepticism, like, I mean, he's not going to splash money like Abramovich. Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah.
We're the highest spender this year. We have a lot more business to do, I think. I think Fofana is probably going to happen. Leicester just put him training with the U23s. Brendan Rodgers pretty much just said he's done.
Gone.
We're just working it out. The details. But, and then De Jong, he's going to stay at Barca, I think. I think he wants to stay there. But Fofana is a big signing.
But De Jong staying at Barca is going to ruin all of their transfer business.
It is.
Someone,
he wants to stay, though.
But someone's going to go in, pay his deferred wages, even though it's messed up. There's no reason why Barcelona should not be paying out his wages. There's no reason.
What Barcelona's doing is criminal.
Yeah, it is. It's 100% criminal. Yeah. But I'm making the point of the fact that someone's going to go in, they're going to pay his deferred wages, they're going to take the risk. And I could see that being a United or Chelsea. I could see Todd Bowley just saying, you know what, Jorginho, he's not really doing it for us anymore. We need someone to help Kovacic and Conte. I want Mount still playing out on the right side to help out in the front. Kai, why not have him be a false nine? Why not have Frankie De Jong help him out?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have De Jong on. But I will say I love Jorginho. The hate he's been getting is very unfounded in my opinion. He brings you so much stability. I mean, when he's on the ball, you just know, guys, Jorginho's on the ball, everything's all right.
Here's the thing. My only worry with having a Jorginho in that team is that it sort of takes away from the ability that having Conte and Kovacic in midfield can do.
But the reason Jorginho plays a lot is because when they're injured. If Kovacic and Conte are both healthy, they're in the team. I think
this issue with Conte lately is that he's been aging out.
Yeah.
Well, when you play like how he does for it's been 7 years now, right? 2015 he came to the Prem with Leicester. I think he went to Leicester in 2014 when they were in the championship still. Like Conte, he's being able to do what he's been doing for this long of a time takes a toll on the body. Like, not everybody's a Cristiano Ronaldo at 38, still looking like, like world's sexiest man on People's Magazine. Those nice abs. I'm sorry. I zoned out, boys.
Stay focused.
Stay focused. I'm sorry. It's Ronaldo, bro. I can't control myself. No, all jokes aside. But no, it's tough. Like, because don't get me wrong, I would love to see Chelsea fail as well, same as you. But I do agree that there's so much there just of like raw talent ready to go. Things just aren't clicking right, and there is something to be worried about.
Yeah, and the only thing is, like, I'd love to have De Jong on the team, but I think if we sign De Jong this year, that means we're not getting Declan Rice next year.
I think I still get Declan Rice next year.
I don't think so. I mean, you still have Kovacic still playing well. I don't know what's going to happen with Jorginho or Conte. They might leave. I think Jorginho will get re-signed, but splashing 80 million on De Jong and then 100 million or 120 million on Rice next year, I don't know. If
bro, that's that bully money, bro. That's that sugar daddy money, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah, his wallet's heavy, but yeah, I'll take De Jong. He's very good against the press. I think him and Kovacic in the midfield would be so good together. I just don't think he doesn't want to leave Barca.
Yeah. Well, the thing is
he's
that
not going to go to United.
I mean,
you never know. I mean,
you never know. The Glazers are scared. They might lose their cash cow. You don't know.
Yeah.
We have a week left. I don't know. I feel like if he wants to go United, that would have happened already.
I mean,
see, the reason why I disagree with that is because of this deferred wages issue. Had he not had this issue going on, this whole summer, I think we would have seen De Jong at United or Chelsea or whatever.
Well, that was the thing is that
earlier,
Barcelona was ready to take bids for them, but they wanted clubs to pay his wages as well.
They're playing games. They're playing.
They wanted clubs to pay wages, or they didn't want to pay his wages out. Yeah. But that's sort of the beauty of soccer / football, wherever you are. Shout out to our listeners internationally. The thing is that that's the biggest beauty about this sport, is that when you sign these contracts are guaranteed. There's only one other sport that does that. It's really baseball. I mean, granted, with football it is, but they can cut you off at any time. But with same thing as baseball, your money is guaranteed for your wage, and in order for you to leave a certain club or a team, you have to have that wage paid out before you leave. That's the whole point of terminating a contract. But what Barcelona's trying to do is criminal. You can't go in, say you're broke, be X amount of millions in debt, and then try to shell out over 200 million this summer on 7 different players.
Yeah, well,
granted, 2 of them were on a free, so kudos, but still.
Yeah, they sold their soul to buy those players. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
The things they gave up. What was it? The merchandising.
And TV rights. A Barcelona studio.
And these
supposedly.
are long-term deals.
Yeah.
It's not good for your future.
I think they're banking on the Super League. It's not going to happen, but for some reason, I think Laporte and the president of Barca, they want it. That's their only viability. I mean, what they're doing is criminal. What they're doing to Young is sad. I mean, you have Xavi even saying, "Oh yeah, well, we want De Jong. He might play center back." Come on,
they're ruining his career, and that's why De Jong has to, if he, like you're saying, he wants to stay at Barca, but also if that's really his stance, he needs to wake up and realize that you're gonna waste so much. I mean, even if it's a year, like some people will say, "Oh, it's just a year." What do you mean? A year of you not playing in the right position or being, thrown out
wasted.
Is the prime of his career too. He's 25 years old.
You can't do that. You have to leave,
dude. All I'm just saying is that it didn't go well for De Ligt at Juve.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't gone well for Donny at United. Every first team these Ajax boys have gone to just hasn't worked out. Where the second team, they're going to go and explode. And I think De Jong leaving, and if he even goes to a Chelsea or even if he goes to a Liverpool, honestly, Liverpool could use him. Any club that takes him right now, he is going to go supernova. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I agree. I do think he's been playing good at Barca, though.
Oh yeah, of course. I just think he's been spread out too much. It's either he's forced to play defensively too much, or he's forced to be in the attacking third too much.
It's definitely not his fault. It's no fault of his own.
Yeah, he's a box to box. We saw it at Ajax. It was a midfield 3 of Ziyech, De Jong, and Van de Beek. Van de Beek was a defensive midfielder. Donny was box to box, helping out the Van de Beek when he had to, and Ziyech was that attacking force. It's the same thing we see time and time again, in that you just trying to play players where they just don't play well.
Yeah.
One thing I do have to talk about is Kieran Trippier's free kick. My God. We skipped over it in the Newcastle review, but I was thinking about this. Literally, the reason why I've been forgetting so much stuff, because it's been running replays in my head nonstop while I've been talking. What do you guys think about Kieran Trippier? Because I spoke about this on the show before. When he was at Tottenham, I wasn't really sold on him. He went to Atleti. He looked good. In England, I was always worried about him playing. Ali, we've had this discussion before when United was interested in him. But him at Newcastle, I don't know what he has. This swagger to him. He's looking He's looking really good. I'm like, it's sort of like when you miss out on that on the one girl you were like iffy about, and now you're like, wow, I want to go back. You know, like, can I reverse my decision, please? like I'm actually really like he is going out. I'm speechless with what he's going to do this season. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean that free kick was insane. I was very skeptical when they bought him in the first place. I felt like, yeah, you're just trying to bring a big name into Newcastle, but
also a leader, and he's been sensational.
He's captain already. He's been playing great. Great signing. I was curious to think. Do you guys think that was a second yellow?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But a lot of people online I saw were debating it.
That's a tough call.
I think the United game really showed it. There was a lot of like weak yellow cards being called, especially for Liverpool. Like that's the one I felt bad for because like. Players like Harvey Elliott and some of them were putting in spectacular challenges against some of the United players, and yet they're getting called yellow cards for it.
Yeah, I think it's a first yellow, but not a second yellow.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been great. I mean,
Bruno Guimaraes, a Champions League quality midfielder, made it to Newcastle. I said this. Newcastle's finishing sixth this season. They have They have more than bully money, my guy. Like I'd be a little worried about you guys. They have more money than Chelsea. They have more money than Man City right now. Like exactly. Oh my god, I'd be worried.
Yeah, they're trying to be like a
I mean, I think they'll take over what I think they'll do what West Ham did last season.
Well, West Ham finished 8th. I think they're gonna take that top 6 spot.
I thought West Ham finished 7th. No.
Did they finish 7th? I thought they finished 8th. They finished that Conference League spot. I know that.
I think they were actually right after us, so I think was it.
Yeah, because you guys finished 6th, they finished 7th.
Yeah, they finished 7th. You're right.
Listen,
8th was Leicester. I'm sorry, 8th was Leicester. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, you're good. Don't worry.
No, but yeah, I can see them finish. They're definitely gonna finish top half.
Yeah,
100%.
Oh yeah,
they've been looking great, but it's a long season. I mean, some people are like, yeah, they're finishing top 4. No shot.
I don't think it's top 4 job. I do see it being maybe. I think they can make top 6. They can break top 6, but
leaving United out.
I don't want to get my hopes up. I'm very pessimistic right now with United.
We're making top 4.
Ali, did you not? Did you not listen to last week's episode?
I haven't listened to it yet.
Placed them. I put United at 9th. Wow. Predicted 9th.
That's very
very optimistic, Ardi.
No, very pessimistic. But I put Chelsea 5th, Arsenal 3rd, and Tottenham 4th.
I'm not buying into the Arsenal hype. I'm not buying into the Spurs hype.
No, Spurs, it makes total sense. Perisic out left. You brought in Jet Spence. Yves Bissouma, who has been spectacular in the Premier League. And Richarlison. I mean, great recruitment. That team finally has the depth that it needs. They've been able to get rid of players like Ndombele and Lo Celso who haven't really worked out. I feel bad for. Honestly, I'll take a Lo Celso United. Don't mind if I do. But I think this is gonna be a very interesting year. Very interesting.
I think Spurs get top 4, but they don't finish above Chelsea.
I hate Arsenal, but Gabby Jesus, please keep helping my fantasy Premier League. I really appreciate you. Whoever has Rodrigo out there, shout out to you. You were the smart one since day one. Whoever got him, no, you just got him recently. You don't get to talk.
I'm rooting for him though.
Yeah, but I'm talking about these people who got him like first week. Were like, you know what, this might be a cheeky signing. Why not? To you out there, I respect you if you did that. But let's see. I want to go back to this Thomas Tuchel conversation because there's a lot of talk online about saying that Tuchel's not good enough for Chelsea. Nonsense. But
we have the most fickle fans on the planet.
Yeah,
and it hurts to see because I'm Tommy Tuchel through and through.
Yeah,
he's perfect for us. He's going to be our longest serving manager since Ranieri, I think, maybe even more than him.
Okay.
I think we're going to extend him this year to like 2026. He's going to be a long-term manager, and I think there's a good chance he becomes our best manager ever. He'll pass on Mourinho. He's got to win the league. He won the Champions League in his first 6 months.
Oh, nah.
Wow, hot take past Mourinho, you think?
I think he will. I think he will finish. I love Mourinho.
Bro,
no. I'm going to say this. No, I'm going to say this right now.
When he's finished.
Every Chelsea fan disrespects Frank Lampard too much.
No,
I think, here's the thing. I think Frank Lampard gave the building blocks for Tuchel to really thrive when he took over that team.
100%.
Because that season, going from a Lampard to a Tuchel, the way how that team transitioned to how... Because Lampard had an idea, and I think because he was so new to coaching, he really couldn't portray it as well. And Tuchel saw what he was doing, so instead of trying to implement his own thing, he's like, you know what? I'm going to take what Lampard was doing and make it better than what he was trying to do.
That's fair. 100%.
And I think, Besmer always disagrees with me, so finally people agree with me, thank you. But I think that there's not enough respect given to Frank Lampard, which is why I have high hopes for Everton, because being able to convert Alex Iwobi to this wannabe winger who can pace out and skill out everybody to a solid central midfielder is something I can see in Lampard's path of making a good team.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he deserves the credit. He did. He brought in the signings. He brought in Kai. Kai won the Champions League for us, right? But
bringing up players like Tomori, bringing in players like Reece James,
playing Mason Mount, bringing him. Yeah, I mean, he played the youth, and I love that. We got Mason Mount out of it, Reece James, you know what I mean? But Tuchel's an upgrade. Tuchel's what we needed.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't want Lampard to go out because I hated the way Abramovich ran it in the sense that new manager every season, every other season. I mean, you got to play a manager and stick with them. Klopp, first few seasons were rough.
Yeah.
Stick with the manager. Let them establish a system. That's why I'm Tuchel.
But I think Liverpool fans understood what Klopp was doing. I think that it was that Norwich game where they were tied 4-4. It was 88th minute, and then Bobby Firmino out of nowhere just bags that 5th goal for them. Seeing where that project is going is exciting for fans. It was, especially when Ferguson first took over United, same thing. He was finishing 7th, 5th, 4th. He wasn't finishing that high in the league at all. And then slowly but surely, you see these results, you see what the team can do, and then it keeps progressing. I think because there's too much instant gratification in football that there's not enough people giving time to what there can be.
100%. People are too impatient in a tough league.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But, yeah, I mean, I think most fans are on with Tuchel. I think most fans back him. It's just a loud minority that are so fickle. They're one game they love Jorginho, one game they hate him, one game they love Tuchel, one game they hate him.
Oh, don't worry. Every game I hate Jorginho, so you're fine. Don't worry about it. Real quick, you're listening Top of the Hour on WMSC Upper Montclair.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are getting on him hard for the Leeds game, but just give him time. It's 3 games into the season. Relax. Have a drink. Enjoy the game. We're going to be back. We're going to play Leicester this week. I'm optimistic. I think we'll get the win.
Have a drink of water out there, guys. Yeah. Water, or a nice little soda.
Yeah.
Or you know what?
Non-alcoholic.
Or you know what? A cheeky little seltzer. I've been craving some seltzer water lately. I don't know about you guys, but
seltzers always comes in clutch.
Yeah. It's water, but a little fizz, a little spice.
Yeah. I think we'll bring in Fofana. All will be well for the Blues.
What do you think of United maybe sweeping in for Fofana? Have you heard of this?
Are you bringing this up to me because I never heard of it? Are you making this up to get?
No, I'm not making this up. I'm genuinely being serious because there's reports and rumors out there that United's trying to sweep in for Fofana instead.
If United sweep in and take Fofana off us,
you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry.
I will shed a tear. Me and Besmir will be in a room together. We're gonna put Marvin's room on, and we're just gonna.
Yeah. Because it wouldn't be it's not even the first center back, the first French center back that's stolen from you in the transfer window.
Yeah, I mean that would be stabbing me and just twisting the knife.
Oh,
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think he wants to come to Chelsea. We already agreed to personal terms.
Yeah,
he's halfway out the door. I think he'll be a Blue.
He will be.
Do you think Fofana is actually gonna help out that much, or is it just helping with the stopgap of an issue?
It's tricky because, yes, he will help with the stopgap of an issue, but he's a young player. He's proven in the Premier League. My only reservation with him is he had a really big injury.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm surprised the price tag is so high. I know Leicester played a good amount. They paid 43
Well, no, but you know what it is? Leicester has money. They don't care. They've been able to make profits off of so many players.
They also are hard negotiators. I mean, you guys saw with Maguire. They were not giving an inch with Maguire.
80 million.
I think Chelsea are just really hesitant to pay a world record fee for him.
For a center back, that might happen. I can see that.
I mean, we offered, I believe it was 60 million plus 10 add-ons. Add-ons are the new thing now, I guess.
Yeah.
Every transfer.
But the add-ons are for this and this if it happens.
Yeah, some add-ons are easy. I heard the add-ons are pretty ridiculous.
If he gets 5 clean sheets, you got to pay another 10 million. Haha, joke's on you.
Yeah. I mean, I think he helps out. I think he starts, and I think the second we sign him, we send out Chalobah on loan. Realistically,
you know what?
I think that's gonna happen.
NJFC deserves to give me add-ons for every win our team gets. I should be getting paid. I don't get paid from that. That's what I was saying. I want to get paid. No, all jokes aside. No, but Chelsea. Fofana, I think will help out a lot, especially if Koulibaly doesn't keep getting red cards.
He'll learn so much on the Thiago Silva and Koulibaly. We'll mold him into one of the best.
You gotta understand, Thiago Silva trained under Nesta and Maldini. Everyone forgets that. Those are two of the best center backs to ever play the game.
Of course.
Like, especially, and then having someone like a Koulibaly to learn under. And then plus it helps fill your issue of starting Trevor Chalobah. Because I personally don't see him as that great of a defender, so giving him time to mold and really adjust is going to help with having a Fofana in there. But I'm just worried for a Fofana because, like, at Leicester, we see him play well with the Johnny Evans, and we've noticed with Leicester center backs, Johnny Evans really makes other center backs look good. Like, he was always insulted at United, but if you see him play, like when Maguire was playing next to Johnny Evans, like Maguire looked so good because Johnny Evans was always doing the dirty work for Maguire. With Soyuncu has had a big decline these past couple of seasons because there's been consistent injuries with Johnny Evans, and you see he's been going down. His performances have been off. So do you think that having enough experienced center backs with Thiago Silva and Koulibaly is going to help that out?
100%. I think, like I said before, they'll mold him into a great player, and he'll learn so much. And Thiago Silva does. You said Johnny Evans makes a lot of players look better. Thiago Silva does this.
But I know, but that's the point I'm making. Like, is that having that
upgrade.
figure is going to help him out a lot? Do you
100%.
agree?
He'll be even better for us. It's in a much more stable environment. I mean, Chelsea's back line is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right, and it guarantees Reece to play right wing back.
But here's my question: can Thiago Silva play 60+ games a season still?
Did it last year.
He did.
He played 50-something games last year.
You made it to two finals.
He defies age.
Yeah.
I wish he came earlier, because imagine we had Thiago Silva when he was 29, 30, 31. He would have been a Premier League great.
Guy's amazing.
That's PSG for you with that money, bro. They just take it away from all the players.
I'm glad we got him.
You know
I
what?
think we're going to sign him for another year, too.
I got a perfect Todd Bowley signing for you. Just sign Mbappe, bro.
Mbappe, I love him.
Do you want that ego, though?
I think he's an ego worth taking.
No, yeah.
Really?
That's
He's so good.
He is.
I don't like what he's doing with Messi and disrespecting Messi and Neymar,
no. He's been disrespecting the boy Alphonso Davies, my guy.
With the girl.
Alphonso Davies gets a heart condition. His girl leaves him for Mbappe, my guy. I'm sorry. I don't have respect for it. I don't. So sorry. You lost my respect, Mbappe. You're not going to be one of the greats. There you go. I've called it. No, I'm just joking.
No. I don't think he'll play those games at Chelsea. I think Tuchel has a lot more power at Chelsea than he did at PSG.
I don't know, bro. John Terry, he messed around with other people's wives. I'd be a little worried.
I don't think it's not going to happen. He's not going to leave. I think it was really weird not to see him leave Real Madrid. I think PSG had something on him.
No, but
I mean, the
money, my guy.
I know it's the money, but it just
dude.
didn't make sense
Plus, he has like LeBron James power.
Oh, he's an
power
owner.
at the
He's an owner now.
He gets to decide what managers comes in. He gets to decide what players.
Yeah. Well, that's why the relationship with him, Messi, and Neymar isn't that good right now, because he was trying to get Neymar out, and Neymar knows about it, and he's like, all right, I'm not going to be chill
such a
with you.
bad environment there. It feels like there's a divide between the South Americans and the Europeans there as well.
It does, kind of, yeah.
It's terrible for a locker room.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for the new manager that coming in, Galtier, because he's a really like traditional manager of building up a team, building up youth, buying within the league. Because we saw they bought in a player from the Liga who did really well. We see investments in the team. So hopefully that sort of changes it up, where instead of them trying to be wannabe Galacticos, they'll start smartly investing in the team and not paying $300 million for a Neymar or $198 million for an Mbappe. That'd be great.
Or even with the drama they're having now, they're playing unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Do you see how many goals you're scoring?
Crazy.
I'm really angry. Messi's playing well right now. Really am.
Yeah,
Messi looks great.
We were saying this on Matchweek. How funny would it have been if Ronaldo had gone to PSG and Messi would have won a Champions League because of Ronaldo? It would have been like cementing the legacy.
That'd be funny, but there's no way Ronaldo joins that team and that works with those four players.
Absolutely not.
There's no way.
Neymar left.
There's not enough goals.
Mbappe right.
No, I don't
Messi at cam.
Doesn't work.
Ronaldo as striker.
It's too much.
Here's the thing: the rest of the teams got to defend for them, but who cares?
No, in today's football, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't have four players not engaged in the press.
I think if Mbappe left, Ronaldo would have been a cool signing.
Yeah.
Neymar on the left, Ronaldo up front.
If Neymar had left, Ronaldo would have worked, honestly.
I want a Neymar at Chelsea so bad.
Yo, how about the disrespect to Di Maria? Went to Juve. I love Di Maria. Angel Di Maria. Wish he never left Man United, but he got robbed, so he had to leave.
His wife's
I think he kind of wanted to leave PSG, don't you think?
Yeah, because as soon as Messi comes in, he takes his spot.
True.
And personally, Di Maria is the better Argentinian in my opinion.
Wow.
Then
That's
who?
a bold claim. The Messi?
Yeah, in my opinion, like
What?
when it comes down to the national team,
Ardi.
I love Angel Di Maria way more. Not even just because of his Man United years. Like, yeah, he was at United. That's fine, whatever. But
At United.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not even because of his United years.
Okay.
What I'm just trying to say is that when you see him play, it's lights out. Like, does everyone forget how much of a great he was at Real Madrid?
No, he's
Like
amazing.
how
He was amazing.
how disrespected he was. He was forced out because of a James Rodriguez wonder goal.
That's true.
Like
That is true.
even at PSG was carrying them on his back while Zlatan had left and Cavani was getting injured. It was just Di Maria. And then Mbappe and Neymar comes and he's making them even look. And everyone forgets how great Di Maria was into that Champions League lead up against Bayern.
Yeah. He's a great player.
Disrespected.
Underrated for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Is he better than Messi for Argentina?
no, I don't agree.
I
with
mean,
that.
how many penalties has Messi missed for Argentina? Just saying.
It's not gonna
Just
come down
saying.
to penalties already.
Just say. But hey, when it comes to great footballers, it's the fine. You gotta look at the fine print. The fine numbers is what really defines them. So Ronaldo's better. Anyways, on to the next topic, guys. We have games on the weekend.
Yep.
We're gonna go over them, pull them out. You're gonna give me your predictions for results. Just letting you know, I got like 75% of my predictions right, or nah, not right. I'll say whatever.
Really, 75% is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Let me know your
that's-
predictions. And if you're 75%, I'll toss a lot of money on your picks.
Oh, okay. So did I ever tell you guys about my 30-game parlay story?
30 game
30
parlay.
game.
So I did a 30-game parlay last season, towards the beginning of the season. I did 10 games Premier League, 10 games La Liga, and 10 games Bundesliga. I couldn't cash out because I got the first 3 games wrong for like each league. So I got the first league of the Premier League wrong, first game of the Bundesliga wrong, first game of La Liga wrong. So I couldn't cash out my bet. The rest of them ended up being right.
You
Oh
got
my.
27.
I got 27 right.
Was this all in the same week of games?
Yes, I couldn't cash out because all 3 of the games went wrong. All
What
3 of the
was
first
odds
games.
on that thing had you gotten it?
Oh, if I put in like $5, if I had hit it, I would have gotten like $4,000.
If you,
Oh,
it would have to be bigger than that.
it would
30
be
games?
way bigger. 30 game.
No,
parlay?
because there was a lot of teams where it's like Man City was like negative 700.
Yeah, but 30 games
it still
they
adds up,
compiled. I
Ardi.
mean, unless you put in a penny. I mean, would you bet?
I bet $5. I told you.
You would have
500?
definitely came out with like
I thought you
at
were
least
gonna about like
500K.
yeah, like 400,000 or something. Like you'd be in the Bahamas right now. If you won.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't be on Matchweek right now, guys. No, don't joke aside. No. But yeah, it was fun. I missed
That's
out on
crazy.
that bet.
27 out of 30. Let me know your picks, man. I want to make some money.
Oh, by the way, Matchweek is not fiscally responsible for any of your options of money making. We are not a financial podcast. We are here for fun and making jokes. Anyways, on to the next one. Fixtures. Saturday is when they start. So Saturday we have Southampton versus Man United. Ali spoke. He thinks United's going to get a win. I think it might be a loss or a draw. Mustafa, what are you thinking?
I think United kill them.
You think?
Honestly. I
Yep.
think they come in full front again.
Yeah.
It's at Southampton.
It's
at St. Mary's.
At
Yeah.
St. Mary's.
Yeah.
I still think United come out strong. I wonder if Ronaldo's going to start. I don't think so.
I don't think.
They have to get that sorted. But regardless, I think United win comfortably. Southampton's.
What is this like in 2 weeks? The truth will be told thing. He's trying to be cryptic on social
I have
media.
a very good prediction. I think. I'll
What's
be
your
right, but-
conspiracy? What is it?
Okay, I think Ronaldo's gonna leave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where. I think he's gonna have a sit down with Piers Morgan, and he's gonna he's gonna dish out all the dirty laundry about United because he wants to look good in the media.
Well, I
think him and Piers Morgan have been texting while this wasn't happening. Piers Morgan kind of hinted towards it on his Twitter. I think he's have a big sit down with him, an hour-long sit down, and he's gonna dish out everything.
I
be
I
very
think
messy.
I think he's gonna trash on the Glazers mainly, which would
what I
help
think,
out.
too.
Which could work to your favor.
I was
My
just gonna say
prediction-
that,
This is my prediction for the Ronaldo conspiracy. All this is gonna be the launch of Ronaldo's new clothing line.
I thought you were gonna say cryptocurrency.
Ronaldo's cryptocurrency. he's gonna have Ronaldo punks, and they're gonna
yeah.
be.
NFTs.
I'd have to say there's still one just to go off topic real quick. There's still one FT project doing really well, which is 99 Originals. I talk about it on Instagram all the time. It is absolutely insane project because it's people taking like art and making it like digital art, which is pretty cool. Anyways, just want to talk about that. Pretty cool. 99 Originals, big shout out. But yeah, so back to the tell-all of Ronaldo. He's gonna give us some weird mind-bending news. Whatever it is, what it is. Results. This is what we care about. So we all in agreement for the Southampton United game. Brentford Everton, I think this might be like a 2-2 draw or like a 3-2 at Brentford.
Could be. Yeah.
I think Brentford come out with it. It's at Brentford. They're home. I can just see like a Tony masterclass.
I know, but also like I think we can't underestimate James Tarkowski because he's known to handle big like tall strikers, like someone who's making a presence in the box. But then again, Ben Mee on the other side now is a little weird. Usually they're playing together, so it's gonna be the first time we see them playing against each other. Pretty cool.
Everton have so many injuries. I mean, I'm looking at this: Mina, Davies, Calvert-Lewin. I mean, Gomez, Doucouré, Townsend.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane.
Ben Godfrey though, because of that Chelsea game.
Yeah, Godfrey as well, and he's out for a while.
But then also Brentford's been missing Ayer, who's a big help in the defense. Kanos, who's been spectacular for them in the midfield. Pinnock, who's a good rotation player, but not gonna matter that much for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still think Brentford come away with that. I think Everton are in shambles right now.
Here's the thing: if Everton don't get a striker before this game somehow or some way, like if they don't get an instant like 1 day transfer, I do see them losing just because they really don't have anything going forward to help them. Plus, this Anthony Gordon situation is not going to help the locker room figuring out like who's staying and who's leaving.
All right.
So I'm vying closer to a Brentford win.
I'm gonna go opposite. I think Everton will pull off a win, not based on what we've seen so far. Now so far it's like they look terrible.
Everton is gonna win because Frank Lampard's gonna sub himself on. He's gonna be like,
not at this point.
Let me show you how to score a goal. But
they need to get something. They have to start something. Like it doesn't matter. They need a result.
I mean, with that Richarlison money, you should be able to find somebody to invest in. You're telling me there's no like championship striker? You should be like, you know what? Why not? Like, let's just risk it at this point because there's nobody else who wants to come.
There should be. I mean, I'm actually
the money.
shocked.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, no, last year they struggled with financial fair play because they spent, I think, over $550 million over 5 years, and they were close to not matching it with their earnings.
Revenues.
Yeah, their revenues.
Yeah.
So that was a risk last year why they couldn't really make that much signings. And then this year, they've made money from Richarlison and a few other players, but it's been a struggle to try to find the right replacements. Which is a lot of clubs. A lot of clubs can't find players right now.
I get it, but you can't be too picky, especially when you're probably going to be in a relegation battle this season.
Yeah, but this next game is going to be very, very difficult to call. Leeds versus Brighton.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game.
I want this to be like a 6-6 game. Like, just go crazy is what I want.
Could.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a draw. It's going to be a crazy game. It's going to be lights out. I'm hype. I'm rooting for the American guys at Leeds, even though they just whooped us last week. But, yeah, Graham Potter just has Brighton.
Bro, Jesse March.
Good signing at the new left back. Man.
Jesse March, the American Revolution. We're winning it again, boys. We won 1776. We're winning it again. The Americans are taking over, okay?
Jesse, we're ruining future. Don't call him PKs again.
Oh, my God. But here's the thing, right? Because you have electric form of Rodrigo, Daniel James looking class on the wing, Brendan Harrison linking up. You have Tyler Adams really shoring up that position that Calvin Phillips left. They do have injuries. Junior Firpo's been out. Cooper is out. Ayling's out. Bogus. He's a bogus player. Who cares? Patrick Bamford, their main striker, but it's a blessing and a curse he's been out because now Rodrigo looks like he's been finding his spot in the team.
I think Bamford's role in the team is in serious jeopardy with Rodrigo's form.
Yeah, but I think so too. But then how long can this form last? Do you think?
Exactly.
Do you think it's a purple patch or do you think it's an actual like his quality's finally coming out in the Prem?
I need to see more games.
Yeah.
Before I say he's going to finish with 15, 16 goals. But Bamford's coming off an injury. He had a rough year last year. I think, what was it, the year before he had a bunch of goals?
Yeah,
right?
Patrick Bamford had like I think 14 goals.
He was a high up,
which is still impressive. You just got promoted.
Yeah,
of course.
But someone that I like that's been playing really well at Leeds is Jack Harrison.
Oh, yeah. Jack Harrison.
I remember watching the NYCFC. I'm like,
oh yeah,
why are you in that MLS? You are so good.
Well, he was at City. He was on loan.
Yeah,
and it's a City group. The City group share with City group.
Yeah, I know, but he's been electric. I mean, they have a lot of young talent there, and yeah, it's gonna be a good game. I'll definitely watch
the one person I'd be worried about not having is Stuart Dallas. He was someone last season who was a big stopgap for them, playing right wing back, center mid, center back, forward. He's been someone who's been a class player for the club, and that's someone who you want against the Brighton, someone who's very versatile. Because, Graham Potter, he's a little wizard. He'll find a way to fix somebody in. This is I think the toughest game to call this weekend is going to be this Leeds Brighton game.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 3-3 draw.
3-3 draw.
I think we'll see 6 goals.
I think it's gonna be a 1-0 victory.
Really?
For who?
I think for Leeds maybe.
For Leeds.
I think Brendan Arias is gonna pull off that cheeky through ball again, where somehow goes forward and rolls back, defying gravity somehow.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, there wouldn't be a result that surprises me there.
Yeah.
I think it should be a very close game. Very, very close game.
Mm-hmm.
Next, Chelsea-Leicester.
Oh, big one.
I think Chelsea's going to bounce back. This is their bounce back game. They won their first game, they drew the second game, and they lost the third, so they need that bounce back victory. It's the same thing as Liverpool. Liverpool need that bounce back victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a classic game. It's going to be a game where I think we just kill them.
Yeah.
It's at the Bridge. It's going to be electric.
Yeah.
I still don't know how the lineup's going to look, but I'm confident. Leicester in really bad form. I mean, and I'm looking at their fixtures coming up. Brendan Rodgers, his job might be in huge jeopardy. You have Chelsea, United, Brighton, Villa, Spurs. I just think coming out of those 5 games with maybe 3 points.
I don't think Fofana's playing the weekend. They still have Ricardo Pereira out, who's a big miss in that team. I see this being a Chelsea win, probably a 1-0, 2-0 victory, just because I think Leicester's still gonna fight the best they can to keep the victory going. Does anyone else disagree? I don't see this really going well.
Yeah, I think Chelsea will.
I go 2-0
I think
Chelsea.
You guys will easily win this one.
Yeah,
easily.
I think so too.
Next, Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Liverpool are going to dog Bournemouth.
They should.
Bournemouth are the Norwich City of this season. They're going to get dogged.
Bournemouth both getting relegated?
Yeah, I have them at 20th.
Yeah, I think so.
20th?
Yeah. But here's the thing. I think Bournemouth is that club where they come up, they take their Prem money, and you see they really didn't spend that much in their team.
No, I didn't get that.
They focused it more on improving the club, sort of bounce back into the championship, absorb the money we get now from ticket sales and stuff, and then in the championship, that's where we'll really progress the club, get better, and then maybe make it back to the Prem. That's what a lot of these ladder clubs do, because the gap between the championship and the Prem now is getting a bit too wide.
Yep.
Because a lot of these clubs who are spending a lot of time in the Premier League are getting a lot of cash flow.
Exactly.
And there's just not enough to help out the championship teams ananymore.
Yeah.
And that's why you see Norwich coming up, coming down, coming up, coming down.
Yeah.
They're just not there yet.
So for Eddie Howe to talk about Bournemouth, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise that he got sacked, because look at his position now.
Well, Eddie Howe, it's he didn't just get sacked and took a break and relaxed. He went all over and was just learning. He went to Atletico. He wasn't even a part of the coaching staff. He just basically interned with
that's amazing
with the Atletico coaching staff, which is
Simeone's team and stuff.
That's what being able to just watch Simeone coach. And then also just exploring the Netherlands. And he is somebody who went all around the world, try to improve his skill of a lifestyle, and has brought it back tenfold with Newcastle.
Yeah.
This is a whole new manager of Eddie Howe. It's a whole new ball game of what he's bringing to this club.
Yeah.
To Newcastle.
When Newcastle first got bought and Eddie Howe first got signed, I always said you want to be the second manager of the new ownership group. But Eddie Howe, he might be the one for them.
Yeah.
Well, technically he was.
Well, you know what I mean. After his signing.
Yeah.
Because Eddie Howe, what I thought of it was Eddie Howe, he's going to get on top half of the table, and then the next manager, he's going to have the big signings, they're going to push for top 4.
Mm-hmm.
But he might be the one.
He might be.
Just to say this real quick, anybody who thinks Steve Bruce is a good manager, just stop listening. I'm being perfectly honest. Because I had this argument with Besmir nonstop, because he doesn't give enough respect to Eddie Howe. Because last season, I was making the point that Eddie Howe deserved manager of the season. 100%. I think being able to take Newcastle, who were supposed to get relegated, they lost 14 games before he came. They were in the relegation. There were no chance of them making it back, and he was able to bring a bounce back, rebuild this team, and being able to make them contenders for the next season as well, I thought was more than impressive than what any of the other managers could have done.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, if he won it, I couldn't have argued.
Yeah, but that's why I was just saying it's Besmer was saying, "Oh, Steve Bruce was good enough." I'm like, you don't know. No.
Steve Bruce's time is kind of up with.
I really hope he doesn't coach anymore. He was a great United player, but
Yeah. I mean, he did well also for, what was he? He was coaching, or no, that was, what was it, Hull? I think
Hull
City? No, I'm forgetting. I might
no,
be,
he was
might be
with
mistaken.
Hull for one season, but I think that was when Hull were in the championship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm missing that.
So, obviously Liverpool were winning. We're not even going to dispute that whatsoever. Just imagine Liverpool have another upset. I would absolutely just be ecstatic.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be the bounce back game, right?
Again, I'm sorry, Mihao. I feel bad for you if that would happen, but I would be so ecstatic if they lost. Oh my God, crazy.
Be amazing.
Next, Man City versus Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace is going to put a performance.
This is their bogey game today. They dropped points against them both times last season.
I know. And like Palace looks so much better than last year.
Man.
Even with having someone who I don't think Eberiche Eze is good enough, especially when you have someone like Olise who's better, who's
Really?
injured right now. Because if you were watching that Chelsea game, first game of the season, I'm sorry to say it, but Palace should have won. Like if
Arsenal.
was it Arsenal?
Yeah, the first game was Arsenal.
It was. You're right,
It
you're
was
right.
Arsenal. I'm sorry.
it was
Yeah, I
Arsenal.
apologize. It was Arsenal.
Yeah.
No, that first game against Arsenal, if Eze puts away two of those open chances he has, it's a whole different season
That's
for
true.
Arsenal.
You could argue Palace had a better game that game.
Oh yeah, like
And Arsenal fans were like, yeah, Arsenal killed them. No, that was a tough
I
game.
hate of the fact that people were like, oh, Arsenal breezed through Crystal Palace.
That
No,
was a good game.
Crystal Palace were good from the 20th minute to the 75th minute. Like that whole entire part of the game, they dominated. But the first 15, kudos to Arsenal. They did it right. Like they got the goal, absorbed pressure for a majority, then got the second goal. Granted, it was unfortunate because it was deflection off of Mark Gahey. Nothing you could do there. But Crystal Palace, I see, might pull a draw or maybe even a win over City.
It's typically their bogey game, but I think City will win.
I know, like City should be winning this
Dropping
game.
points back to back for them is pretty rare.
Yeah, but hey, this is a rare Premier League season. This
I
is
know,
the
this
season
is-
where
nothing will
anything
surprise
and
me.
everything is happening, and I'm absolutely loving it. From my neutral perspective, I'm loving it, but I'm hating it when I see United 4-0.
Yeah, that was not good.
And the worst thing was, Ali, I was in Staten Island. I was outside by like this nice pool. Shout out to my friend Malik, great guy. I was outside this like nice in-ground pool, sitting there in a floaty, had a drink, just chilling, watching the game, and I'm just slowly, like just getting depressed, sinking into the water, not wanting to watch the game. It was really, really horrendous. But that's what I'm saying. The Premier League I think this is the best season for anybody who is like a neutral or wants to get into the sport to be watching because
Yeah.
it is a sensational game after game after game.
We got the best players, we got the best managers.
Yep.
I mean, the managers in the Premier League right now is unbelievable.
Top notch.
Probably the strongest it's been since I can remember.
Yeah.
I say ever.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I mean, you're talking Tuchel.
The last
Pep, Klopp.
time we saw the league like this, it was basically early mid 2000s when Arsenal were still up top. Chelsea were
Yeah.
fighting with Mourinho just signing to them. You saw teams like Spurs like coming up with upsets around then. It was a fun time. I mean, that was back when Leeds were still like a dominant club to be reckoned with. You know,
Yeah.
it was plus Alan Shearer at Newcastle. Don't forget,
Crazy.
Premier League goal scorer of all time. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I mean, but this is a great time, like you're saying, like
Yeah.
for us fans and all the neutrals. I mean, even doesn't matter whoever you support.
So I
It's
say
just
for all the
fun to watch.
neutrals, if you're not a fan of the sport and you want to be, get a random number generator, line up the teams 1 to 20. Wherever you get, that's your team. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna love it, unless you're a
Exactly.
United fan.
I mean, hey,
That was
Chelsea,
fun this
bro, be
weekend.
careful. Be careful, Chelsea. I don't know. I'd be a little worried. But no, I will say that this is perfect because there's a lot of competition and then right into the World Cup. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a great time. Next, we have Arsenal versus Fulham. I can see this being Arsenal's first loss of the season.
Really?
They have 3 back-to-back. I think Mitrovic, he's just... Granted, I know you're not on the hype train.
No, I'm
But
not.
Mitrovic, he's going to be a menace just because I want to see how much a Saliba can handle somebody like that. Because we've seen how well he was in the Liga and what he was able to do within like Europa League and stuff like that. Or was it, did they play Conference League or Europa League, Marseille? I can't remember.
I think it was Europa. Was it?
But either way, he played in the European competition.
Yeah.
He was playing against extensive different types of teams. And now what we're going to see in the Prem, I mean, so far he's been able to handle the first 3 games well. See what happens from there. Gabriel looking like a whole different player this season. The bald look is like throwing me off a bit. He looks completely different. And then Ben White, who was a record transfer for center back for Arsenal.
Right.
I mean, if I'm Arsenal, play back three. You let Kieran Tierney run wherever he wants. Tomiyasu run wherever he wants. Do you have Saka? I mean, Zinchenko in the midfield.
He's been playing okay, right back.
Yeah,
Because Tomiyasu's been injured, so he's been filling in well. I do have to say, I'd much rather see a midfield three for Arsenal of Odegaard, Partey, and Zinchenko, because it's a waste. Yeah, because I think it's a waste having Zinchenko at left back when you have someone like a Kieran Tierney, and Zinchenko's true position is playing box to box in the midfield.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I really feel for who's such a good player on the bench, Smith Rowe.
He's so unlucky.
He's not going to get a lot of minutes.
He's not going to start over Odegaard, and he's not going to start over
Martinelli. He had such a good
season
last year.
I know. Well, he got injured, and then that's where Martinelli sort of blossomed. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Smith Rowe is going to have a tough one. I mean, Gabby Jesus, we spoke about it earlier.
I mean, even if he doesn't get you a goal, he just creates so many good chances.
That's why I was so angry. I was so angry the first week for FPL. He was creating so many chances for Arsenal players just for them not to score any of the goals that he set up. But no, Odegaard gave assist. Why not give it to Odegaard? He's gonna do great. He's gonna do great.
And in terms of this game, I think Arsenal will get a result. They're gonna win. I think 2-3-0. The only reason
2-3-0, you think?
Man, I'm not sold on Fulham. I think they're way too reliant on Mitrovic scoring, and he's not going to score every game.
But I think that team knows how to defend well because of how well they were able to handle like a fully fledged Liverpool side. It wasn't like it was just the B team of Liverpool. Like everybody, it was a full fit team.
Yeah, I mean Liverpool still got 2 goals, but
they also came back with 2 goals. Like
it's true. Arsenal will Arsenal at some point in this season, just not this week.
Arsenal will Arsenal at this season.
I was just going to say that. I think Arsenal will win this game. You know, I agree. Like maybe 2-0, 3-1.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think Arsenal right now, they're going to take advantage, or they already are taking advantage of this kind of easier schedule. But like Ardi's saying, I think they will pull on Arsenal and start to drop points once they start facing the likes of Chelsea, City, and all those top teams.
I'm really excited to see this, like how they play against the bigger teams, because I want to see what that dynamic will be with having a Gabby Jesus up there.
Yeah, I mean, people still bring up the preseason game against Chelsea. They put way too much weight on it.
Preseason you can't.
I mean, like
United won the Bangkok Trophy and then lost to Brentford 4-0. Come on, guys.
And then we also beat Liverpool again because we beat them in preseason. So
good game.
Yeah, exactly. No, all jokes aside, I don't think preseason should be counted towards. Like, if you're a fan, I would not rely heavily on preseason.
No.
Now, for the Sunday games, these are a couple of good ones. So Sunday we have Aston Villa, West Ham. I think these are 2 underperforming teams. You have a Diego Carlos who's hadn't played that well, out injured. And you have a West Ham who's just not been clicking this season. Like, granted, they got the striker backups they need, and they've bought the center back backups and everything. They've been able to keep hold of Declan Rice, but something just doesn't seem right. It's like it's not meshing well. It's like they lost the form. I think that Europa League semifinal really messed with that team. Not beating Frankfurt. It was horrendous refereeing. I'll still say that till every day. But I'd be a little worried if I'm West Ham because this game might slip up under them. I could see a Coutinho banger out of nowhere really giving Aston Villa this win.
Yeah, I really don't know what to think about this game. I think West Ham are in dire need of a win.
Yeah.
I mean, 0 points in 3 games for them.
Unheard of. Usually they get a draw or something.
Seriously, and it's like, who did they drop points against? Forest.
Nottingham Forest, I'd be
Forest
worried about.
Forest is good, but come on. City, I get. Brighton 2-0. Bowen has to show up. I think he's so important to that team going in the attack. So I really don't know what to think of this game. I'll go with the draw just because I'm not too confident in West Ham. But
that's why I think it might be a 1-0 victory at Aston Villa. Just like I said, it might
see West Ham losing 4 games in a row.
But dude, I'm telling you, it might be like a magical Coutinho moment. Like
100%.
That's really what it could be, all down to.
It could be. I think West Ham are going to come out with this win only because they are in dire need of a win, like you're saying, Mustafa. And if you are in fantasy, I'm telling you right now, bring Antonio in, start him. He's going to bag two goals for your watch. I'm telling you. He's going to start bringing back that form from last year.
They need to start Skamanka.
Yeah, I think they're
full 90.
They're trying to bet him in because David Moyes had this experience with that United and even at Everton. Every time you bring in a foreign player, they don't always bet in well. So you have to see how they do in training and then see how it goes from there. It was sort of it was sort of like it's the right approach you have to take. Like that's the one thing they didn't do with Jadon Sancho at United. They just threw him in right away and expected results. Like
I agree.
It slowly has to be a vetting process.
I 100% agree, but I think they need points really bad. Something to change. Antonio's not it. He's not their solution.
Well, because Antonio's played right wing, right back, striker. He's been thrown everywhere for that team.
Scamacca's just perfectly built for the Premier League, I think.
Yeah.
Just watch
He's
this
like
Sunday.
6'6", built like a monster.
He's basically Wout Weghorst but Italian. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
I think they gotta give him a really good shot, and try it, man. Try it. I don't think Antonio's gonna bag a goal against Aston Villa.
So next
Two.
game we have is two.
He's gonna pop off.
So
somehow.
next game we have Newcastle versus Wolves. I have Newcastle winning this, and also in case you weren't listening, I had Wolves getting relegated.
What?
What?
You want to know why I say this? They have no attackers. They have no consistent striker.
I have a question. Did a Portuguese girl break your heart?
No. I'm just. I want a hot take, and
That's a big hot take, though.
well, because they don't have they have no one to really bring in goals. Like don't get me wrong, Pedro Neto's finally back from injury. He's a great player.
That's the big
they
thing.
they
now.
brought in Gonzalo Guedes, but he's not a striker. He's a creator. He's not really a goal contributor.
What about Raul? What if he starts to find some?
Raul's still injured.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I thought.
When does he come back?
He comes back. I'll look at it right now, but I know he's still out injured right now.
Oh man.
Raul's injured, or he probably
he-
he's coming back this week. I know he was injured last week.
Really? I thought he played last week
No, I
for a
remember,
little bit.
or he might have came on late.
Yeah, he
last
came
week.
on. I think he came on late.
But I remember when I was doing my Premier League review, he was still
Raul
out
scored
injured.
last week.
Did he actually?
Oh wait, sorry. I'm sorry. This was against Preston yesterday. It was, I guess, EFL Cup.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, he is back.
Yeah. Okay. So he's finally back.
Yeah.
But he's still coming back from that head injury. Like
Yeah.
he got the. Here's the thing: if you get the Peter Cech injury, you have to wear the helmet. It's a difference if you're a goalie, right? Like,
100%.
Yeah.
but being a forward where you're known for your heading ability and working with the ball, it's a very tough thing to adjust with.
He's gonna have
Yeah.
to change his game.
Yeah, and then plus having a Hwang Hee-chan who, don't get me wrong, I love Hwang Hee-chan. I thought he was absolutely sensational in the Bundesliga. I love the player.
Yeah.
I just don't think he meshes well with his Wolves team. Like I see him meshing well better with a Newcastle or Aston Villa than I do with the Wolves. And they still rely on a João Moutinho. Granted, they brought in Nunez, but
I think he's a great signing.
he is a
Yeah,
great
Nunez
signing.
is a
Don't
big
get me
one.
wrong, he's a great signing.
Great signing.
But then again, they always have great signings for the midfield or for the defense, but they never help out their forward line enough.
I mean, you never know. Neto just because it's been a while since we've really seen him put in big performances, and I think maybe now he'll start to kick off. Raul bagged a goal against Preston, so I mean maybe that gives him some confidence. I mean, look, with Raul, don't forget, he's a great scorer with his head, but he's a finisher too.
Yeah.
The guy can score with
I
his feet.
do have to say, there's two players out for Newcastle that you might be worried for. It's Ollie Byrne, who was a great center back last year. They brought him in the winter. He was just sensational, great. But then also Callum Wilson is out.
Really, he's gonna be out for that game.
He has a hamstring injury. It says out for a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they needed Isak, man. He's always hurt.
Yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah, that's why I think this might be close, but also we might get again another Kieran Trippier free kick or a Saint Maximin wonder class or Bruno Guimaraes from top of the box out of nowhere bangs a goal. I see this being more likely for Newcastle just because of how well they've been progressing and molding themselves as a serious team now. So yeah, I have it there. So I think Newcastle win, boys.
Same.
Yeah.
Newcastle?
I would say Newcastle will win.
All right. Last game, Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham. Boys, I'm going to say this right now. Jesse Lingard.
Let's go.
Jesse Lingard, dub. Jay Lings, dub. Come on. Jay King's my guy.
Oh man.
He's gonna bust out a dance move on them. Make that stadium into his dance floor, my guy.
Yeah, I think Forest gets a result.
Really?
Nottingham Forest is probably gonna get the result.
I do.
I'm going opposite. I think
But you want to know
Tottenham
what it is?
will win this one.
Don't get me wrong. I love Steve Cooper of Nottingham Forest as a manager. What he's been able to do in the championship, he brought in a lot of lone players, brought up a lot of youth, had some experienced players. The way he's been able to mesh players, he's the reason why James Gardner is even being considered for the midfield for United now. He is a phenomenal manager, and I'd be really, really excited.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think Tottenham, like attack is gonna be Kane, Son. I don't know, Kulusevski. It might be too much for Nottingham.
Kulusevski's still on fire from last season.
Yeah,
man.
he might be too much for Forest, honestly. We'll see though. It'll be a
My
good
heart is saying Forest, but my brain is saying this might be a Tottenham win.
Yeah.
My heart's taking over my brain for this result. I want Tottenham to lose so bad.
You're a Chelsea guy.
Yeah, of course. I'm saying my heart just for Jesse Lingard. I'm not saying because I hate Tottenham.
Yeah. No, but Forest have been playing good.
They
Oh yeah, they
This,
have.
this is a game where Forest can win. Like I don't think it surprised a lot of people if Forest draw against Tottenham this game.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
It's
This
just
is
Tottenham.
this is the game where if you're putting in a bet, you do a tie no bet. You know what I'm saying?
Draw
This
no
is
bet?
Draw no bet.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
I
might be a risky one. I'm for my heart, I'm going Forest. Ali, you're going Tottenham.
Yeah, I'm going Tottenham.
I'm gonna go draw.
You're gonna go draw. Okay.
go.
Go draw.
Jay Lings is the king. That's how we're gonna leave it off of today, guys. You have been listening, top of the hour, on WMSC Upper Montclair. This is Matchweek. Guys, make sure you tell somebody you love them. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Shout out to Ardi, the other Ardi, the lesser Ardi. It's the superior Ardi. No, Ardi Mustafa, thank you so much for coming. Really love you coming. Ali, thank you for coming on the show. It's been a great time. Make sure you tune in if you'd like to. We are no call to actions on the show. If you'd like to tune in live or offline, your call. But thanks again for having us. I'll see you guys. Bye.